I'm a pretty reasonable guy.
Hey, Brandon's here, yeah. How did that happen? Did he call you, Brandon, to do it?
He emailed me, or I think he hit me up on YouTube actually, and then we emailed back and forth.
I
Why
think
do you
it,
go on those cunts
I
channels,
think he
man?
was
Like
thinking you
fucking
were going to be
hell.
more like, like on this, like when you not
When you're
attack the board.
yelling, when you're mad and angry.
Yeah, I don't get angry that much, you know. 'Cause every once in a while I get really pissed off, but I
But
try
what
to
did you
stay
think of it
calm.
then, Brandon? Did you think he did what? I mean, what did you think of it? What did you get out of it?
I thought it was all right. I mean, I didn't get much out of it. It's kind of like, like I told him, there's no smoking gun I can give him to support my position that I think the moon landings are fake or anything. It's just my interpretation of what I see. And he provided some, things that he thought were proof. None of them were very compelling. So it's kind of like we almost kind of agreed to disagree.
He was annoyed at that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure that the audience was a little bummed that it didn't turn into a more of a dumpster fire, but it was what it was.
I mean, I thought you would have brought up your, the, I don't know. I think like Twitter, you didn't really. It's like you weren't bothered really. You know? Was it? It was today. It wasn't late for you.
Well, it was in the morning.
Ah, morning.
There was some stuff you expect that I didn't bring up. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I mean, some stuff like with that circle, usually go through the. You could have had that garage experiment.
Yeah, we didn't really get into too much flat Earth stuff. He wanted to talk about NASA mostly. Um, but yeah, I was hoping to get into some of that stuff. I had it already, but it's just not what we talked about.
It's just the same everywhere, Brandon. With all the ballers, they've pretty much given up. You know, in their argument. So I think you did the right thing, basically. How it went.
Apparently, Fight the Flat Earth and Red's Rhetoric exiled one of their own last night. Do you know anything about that, Brandon?
I think I heard them because I was preparing for my debate with them, and I heard them talking about some drama that they have with some fundraiser.
Yeah,
Seems
they
like
have
there's
drama.
always some drama with some
Isn't
fundraiser with
there?
those guys.
Isn't there just? Yeah. So this guy, they call him Negative. He's a small creator, and he actually got a hold of the court documents and called Hufford's former landlord and asked if he had made payment, which he didn't.
Oh,
Yeah, who
So
wait,
that's
knows?
shit.
wait a second. Wait, is that no? Really? Like there was no
Yes,
payment at all? Can he verify that
nothing.
he heard this, or is there any
Well,
verification on that?
yeah, on Unirock's video, you see the court documents.
Oh, okay, all right. Whoa. I think
Well,
this is
only
game
I,
over.
yes, it really is.
Wow.
Well, that's interesting. The way they presented it, I only saw Fight the Flat Earth and Red's Rhetoric side of the story, and the
Of
way they
course you
presented
did.
it is this guy
That's
was being
what.
crazy and making
Oh,
wild
of course,
accusations.
yeah, crazy, yeah. Like the fucking hell. That's all they can do, right? They can just go, nah. But apparently, Fight the Flat Earth himself has seen these court documents and has continued to not speak up.
Well, the only thing that you got to remember as a flat earther, all of you flat earthers, when you go on certain people's shows, you're not being asked on to actually, get somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just to drive the fundraising, the super chats and
Yeah,
the PayPal's and things like that. So
100.
Yeah. I hesitated to go on there. I thought about it for a couple of weeks, and I was like, do I really want to do this? And I don't know why I did it. It just sounded like a fun thing to do, to be honest with you.
Well, do you ever check to see? And I don't expect now, but like, have you? And anytime you've been on a Globe Earthers, the bigger Globe Earthers channels, have you ever seen any increase in your numbers, like your subscriber counts or anything after appearing? Like Spurs, do you ever see anything like that?
No, I've never seen anything like that. No major bump, nothing like that.
No, it doesn't work like that.
So there's no benefit really for you guys.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, unless you're just like trying to argue your position, apart from unless you think you're going to show like the flat Earth is wrong, but Anthony did the right thing by not allowing him to monetize.
Yeah, I just don't mind talking to people, even people I disagree with. So that's what the conclusion I came to in the end is, okay, why not talk to him? I don't mind.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely business.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't make a secret of that. That particular Globe Earther doesn't make a secret of that at all. Well, I mean, I remember watching the stream where he showed his registration that he registered as a business.
But unless he gets like quality flat earthers, it's not just going to be like almost anyone saying, I'm a flat earther, I can go on there.
But I don't think they allow just anyone on the show.
They have.
Do they?
Some of the flat
They
earthers
have?
have been on there have been awful.
Oh yeah, there
there's
have been
some, like,
quite a few. Yeah, you're
very
right.
obvious pose, like Smoo, or what's that guy's name? The guy who talks from his bathtub sometimes. I mean, he's just such an obvious pose.
Yeah. Like, I think he's just doing it for fun, just like for giggles and you know. Always got,
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
champagne.
whatever he gets him off, but it's just like I hate sitting there watching him for like 2 hours just bash the shit out of an obvious pose, and it just makes us all look so stupid.
Right. And that's why Fight the Flat Earth gets these on there, because it's just to try and make himself look good and flat earthers.
Yeah, and he's pretty good. He's a good debater. I'm not really a natural debater, so I was a little worried about that, but I thought it went okay.
He was looking for an argument from you. But you think the Earth is flat, so you could have just went over why it's not a globe, you know.
Yeah, but he kept directing the conversation to the moon landings and things like that. So.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess since it went well, you'll get invited back again sometime, and maybe then you can set the topic.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
You don't argue those gas pressure arguments, Brandon?
It's not one I'm very much into, to be honest with you.
He just said you're wrong, Kimo.
What?
He just said you're wrong about gas pressure.
No, I just mean like the rockets go into space with vacuum.
No, you didn't.
What I hear when you say that is, I don't understand combustion.
I'm saying that you wouldn't have a vacuum next. So if you'd have said that, that would be proof that they couldn't have gone to the moon.
Well, that is quite a fucking sidestep there, Kimo. I have to give you it.
No, because we're just looking for a smoking gun of why we didn't go.
Brandon, when you said you don't really subscribe to Kimo's pressure thing, what did you think he meant?
The whole
That you
gas
can't
pressure in a
measure atmospheric
container,
pressure?
and I just don't get into that argument too much. It's not one that interests me very much. But that's what I thought he was talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking about the gas pressure without a container argument.
Yeah, it's not one I've spent a lot of time thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
What about that you can't actually measure atmospheric pressure?
What's that?
You can't measure atmospheric pressure, right, Kimo?
No, you can't. No.
There you go. Thank you.
Well, that's not what we weren't talking about that, though, were we? I was talking about the gas pressure.
Yeah,
The
but we
contagion.
are now though, right? Because like I'm asking Brandon what he thinks of it.
No, not most people don't agree with that. Are aware of this.
Well, personally, I have a hard time believing that the whole story of the globe atmosphere, obviously. But yeah, like I said, I don't really think about it too much.
There you go. What is like your strong? What do you focus more on? Is it like the fraction side of it?
Perspective,
Hmm?
and actually, I am interested in the atmosphere and looking for signs of physical curvature, um, Coriolis,
Mm-hmm.
plane flight, looking for any sign of Coriolis, those kind of things. I'm looking for some tangible evidence. I haven't been
You're in
able
the
to find
right
it so far.
place. In the right place. This is Globe Earthers Forum. Got abundance of evidence of the globe.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yes.
Oh, and gravity too.
The flat Earth debate is so boring. Let's switch it to something interesting, like free will.
Not meant to be entertaining.
So, Brandon, what made you first consider the flat Earth? Because I know you probably didn't start off that way.
It was the moon landings. Interestingly enough, I've always suspected that the moon landings were fake. And I went back and forth. I was on the fence for a long time, and then I spent a long time looking into it, just looking at everything I could, and I was convinced that it was fake. And then, when you're researching that stuff, or back at that time, flat Earth stuff would pop up, and I just watched a video or two, and then, went through that whole struggle for months on, could this actually be a thing? And it did line up with my experience of the world and some thoughts I've had over the years. So, that's how I fell into it, basically.
Wait, did you hear that?
Yeah. I mean, it's just always curious, especially when I think you were in the Army, right?
Yeah, I was in the Army.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I was in the Army too, so I make note of the people that were in the military along with me, and I just it kind of makes me think, how many people was I serving with that thought the Earth was flat? That's just why I remember when I meet flat Earth veterans, or service members.
Probably more than you know about, I'm sure, because like in my professional life, even though I'm on YouTube, I keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
I don't go
So
around talking about it.
It was just the moon landings then? It wasn't the Christian, there's no Christian connection with you?
No, I'm not religious at all, really.
Yeah. That's interesting. I think you're rare. Not alone, but rare in the flat earth movement.
Yeah, there's quite a few Christians. There's a lot of non religious people too. Like Travis, he's not religious. There's some people who are really anti-religion, actually. Very few, but in flat Earth.
Like who? Can you name one?
Yeah, I think SE's pretty anti-religious from
Is
what I
he?
hear. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the impression I get. And Travis was went to school and studied and all that, and he doesn't really.
Well, he was a theologian, right? Like, didn't he go to school to be that? To be
Yeah.
a minister?
Travis is a non-traditional Christian. He doesn't really base his belief in flat Earth on it. He thinks that,
Okay.
he does think that everything in Revelation has already occurred, though.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, there's actually a debate on the old non sequitur show where he was debating theology, as opposed to flat Earth. It's actually kind of interesting his thoughts on things when it comes to Christianity.
Yeah, his knowledge is really deep in that area.
I'm sorry that is not the case.
Well, of course you would think that, Brenda.
SE and knowledge are not words that go together in the same sentence.
I think he was talking about Travis.
Yeah, Travis.
Right.
He's
Yeah,
got like a
Travis.
master's degree in.
Yeah, he does have a master's.
Yeah.
Travis is also a numpty.
Travis has got a lot of the Bible memorized. He intentionally misuses it at times, but no, I mean he's got a pretty sound knowledge base on what the scriptures actually say.
And getting the master's Bible isn't really, lots of people get degrees.
I'm not actually sure if he got the master's. Didn't he decide to leave the program because his thesis was rejected?
Oh.
I've
No,
never
I-
heard that. I know he
I'll have
left,
to ask
but I
him.
don't
It's
know
been
why.
too
He
long
left.
since I talked to him about it.
I think that the standards for a lot of biblical college are incredibly low.
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
Jaron-
it's
Jaron is another
interpretation,
one.
right? The whole thing's interpretation.
Well, I've
So-
just based on I've seen PhD theses from Bible colleges, and they're just embarrassing.
Really?
I have, yeah. Well, so yeah, I'm going by my personal experience and my own personal reading. So I can't probably generalize too much, but it seems Bible colleges have very low standards. I'm not sure. Having a degree doesn't guarantee much of anything. You can have a degree from Yale or Harvard and still be an idiot.
Yeah, I agree. Doesn't really matter
I
if
agree
you're
too.
religious or not. You know, there's probably more
Brummy.
idiots on the globe side because there's more globers. What are you saying? You all right? How you doing?
Hey, how
I
you
thought I
been?
heard Brummy, yeah.
I'm all right.
That's-
I'm just-
Of course, the reverse isn't true.
Well, there's more globers, and therefore there's more idiots.
The reverse is
Not
not
many.
true. The fact that you have a degree doesn't make you. That's the problem that flat earthers make. Is the fact that you have a degree doesn't ensure that you're not an idiot, right? But the fact that you have a degree doesn't make you an idiot, and that's the problem that flat earthers don't understand.
We understand what you're saying.
Okay, what did I say?
So, Brenda, can you explain how a fist can come out of nothing or something? I listened to one of your recordings the
Oh
other day,
boy.
and you had a fist appearing out of nowhere.
Why I didn't understand you. A fist?
Yeah, you said a fist appearing out of nowhere or something like that. I just want you to elaborate on what did you mean? You're talking about
Yeah,
physics
so-
or somebody.
Yeah, that's not what I said.
That's why I'm asking you to clear it up. It was something like that.
Yeah, you didn't understand what I said.
That's why I'm asking you. What did you mean by it?
A fist is a particular configuration of your hand and your fingers. It doesn't exist until you make one by clenching your hand, and then you create a fist.
Okay.
No, you don't.
There you go. There you go. That's the point I was making. There you go.
Don't create
So
a
you-
fist, you form a hand.
Yeah. So you're saying that that's like particles coming in and out of existence by basically they're there,
I wasn't
but not
making
until they
that
form.
point. I wasn't making that point. I was making
What
the
point was you
point
making?
that things are made from.
Brenda, you broke up.
I said things are made from other things.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. That's the explanation. That's what I was explaining.
Well, that's deep.
It's not deep. It isn't deep. It isn't hard to understand, but apparently it is for you.
I thought it was to describe particles just coming in and out of existence from nowhere. And you're still,
Well, that is something that does happen. Yes.
yeah. So things come out. How do they think? How do things form out of nothing?
Well, they just do. We observe it.
If you say so. You believe in magic? Then?
It's an observed phenomenon. It's observed.
It's not a phenomenon. It's just
It
you
is.
guys. You guys don't realize there's something beyond.
What are
What
you
you can
asking?
what you can see with the
nowhere to
It's
go.
been observed and measured. It's been observed and measured.
Yeah, well, you need better measuring tools.
We have a bit of a problem, Brenda, because we have no way of seeing if it's true or not. To see if something
Yes,
came
you
from
do.
nothing,
You
we
can
would have
repeat.
to see nothing.
You can repeat the experiments.
But the thing is, you can't philosophically find that because there would be nothing to discover. So philosophically, you can't discover the truth.
Nothing will always be nothing. You can never have something out of nothing. So
you're just wrong because we've proven experimentally.
Your instruments are limited, so
it doesn't matter. We can prove experimentally that virtual particles do in fact exist. They come out of nothing and disappear back into nothing. This has been shown experimentally. And
if you can't see past the door, does it mean there's not something behind the door? Does it?
So it's been proven.
Brenda just likes to talk. She doesn't listen, does she? Ever?
Brummy, your interpretation is a bit more responsible in that it allows us to discover something. It would probably be the limitation of the equipment in our eyes as opposed to actually trying to state that something came from nothing. Otherwise, we'd have nothing to discover.
Well, we can prove it. You know, your logic is faulty because we can show experimentally that it happens. Experiment trumps whatever
limited tools. If you can't see through a door and then you say something comes through that door and you go, oh look, we can see something now, that does not mean there was nothing beyond that point that you cannot see.
There's no door.
That's just the limitations of your own tools. That's all it is.
There's no door. There's no door.
Shooting analogy, man. Things come out of nothing, man.
There's no door, Broomy. There's no door.
Things just come out.
You say it like me. Totally negates your fucking ignorance, man. Yes, that's what happens.
Virtual particles are experimentally demonstrated and have been measured. The fact that you refuse to accept it is irrelevant.
Especially
just because you do accept something that's logically impossible doesn't mean I have to.
It's obviously not logically impossible if it happens, is it?
It's not, because there's obviously a flaw within your logic. That's the problem. Nothing can never exist for a start. So you can never have nothing. And to say something pops out of what you classify as nothing, it's just a misunderstanding of the terms.
Yeah, the problem is that it does. We observe it happen.
Okay. How do you know there's not nothing beyond what you can actually detect?
Say it happens. So the next step is the demonstration. Then we accept it and move on.
Just Google around Just Google around experimental evidence for virtual particles.
No, we need a demonstration to accept it, Brenda.
No, we don't accept that. No, okay.
No, but Brenda, there's just more words. Brenda, you've given us the words. You want us to read more words, which has no demonstration to it.
Too bad.
So what do we do? Just believe you? Are you our God?
What you can do, Chemo, is go to your room and have a good cry. And then you'll feel better.
If I just accept that, that would make you some kind of authority, a godlike figure.
Go to your room and have yourself a good cry. You'll feel better.
And again, that would make you like some godlike figure if I just accept what you say.
You don't have to accept what I say.
Exactly.
Accept what the evidence says.
Well, provide it, Brennan. That's what we're talking about.
I have. You can do that.
Where is it?
You can find it for yourself.
I'm not like Brummy here. I'm ready to look at the evidence and work with you guys.
You're a lot like Brummy. You're just as dumb as he is.
Oh, you're so intelligent. Things coming out of nothing and appearing into existence and going out of existence again. Fucking brilliant logic there.
Brummy, you're in denial.
You're so intelligent, Brenda. Something coming out of nothing.
Brummy,
you believe in the Big Bang? You believe in the Big Bang? No wonder you think that's true.
Brummy, if there's an experiment, how can you do this? Brummy, if there's an experiment...
Do you think that this is the best interpretation of the results?
Lemon, if we have an experiment...
And others are pointing out serious logical flaws.
What is wrong with you guys? If we have an experiment, we're too easily to dismiss the globe earthers' experiments. Now, if they have an experiment which shows things coming in and out of existence, why would we deny that? Speak to me.
That's what I would like to know.
That's what I would like to know also. Brummy Lemon, why would we deny?
I've explained. Keep a watch. Brenda doesn't listen. I've already said maybe it's just the limitations of what you can actually see. You're trying to classify that it's nothing because you reach the limitations of what you can see. Doesn't mean because you can't see beyond the door, you cannot say what is that there was nothing beyond it.
No, we're
That's just
saying
your
that. No,
limitation
what
of
they're
what you can
saying
see.
is that there was nothing there, Brummy, and then something appeared.
Yeah.
See?
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Brendan, we're not going to
there.
just accept this. We want the experiment. I'm just letting the guys know that we don't just hand wave dismiss things. We want to see an experiment.
First of all, chemo, you can't have nothing, so it's a fail from the beginning.
Again, for hand wave dismiss, Brenda's got the evidence here. That's what
Okay.
we're here for
Let's
the
see
globe
that, Brenda.
Earth experiment.
Let's see the evidence, Brenda.
That's what we're here for.
I'm not required to give you the commonly available evidence. You can simply Google experimental evidence for virtual particles, and you can look this up yourself. It's not my obligation to demonstrate easily retrieved information for you. Get off your ass and do it yourself.
So, Brenda, you know claims without evidence. You know what that means, right?
Huh? Huh?
Claims without evidence. What can we do with that if there are claims without... And now, we're working with you as much as we can, but we have to have an experiment at some point.
There is. He's not producing a claim without evidence. He is telling you that there is evidence, and if you want to find it, it is very easily found. You simply saying him not producing the evidence, therefore there is no evidence, is ridiculous. Keep it out of your mouth.
Claim, another outrageous claim that is easily found. Prove that is easily found. Provide the evidence.
Okay, you pull up Google and type in experiments revolving around virtual particles.
Yeah, and there are none.
That is a bold-faced lie.
Well, prove it then.
I'm not obligated to do that.
So what do we do then? It's not easily found. It's another outrageous claim.
Then, obviously, it's the end of the conversation. Because if you're going to refuse to put in the work that you need to do to discern whether or not what he is saying is true or not, then why should he go out of his way to try to convince you? If you're interested in this topic, then investigate it.
She. Brenda, she. Get it right.
Say it again?
Brenda's making this claim.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. My apologies. I won't do it again.
Calm down, boy. So look, if Brenda's making this claim, then obviously we're not going to just hand wave dismiss. We're not hand wave dismissers. We like to look at evidence. If you can provide the evidence that we can take a look at and show things coming in and out of existence, Brummy will be happy, I'm sure. I'll be satisfied, and we can move forward.
I mean, show me nothing for a start. I mean, how do you have nothing? I mean, that's the interesting question.
That's all.
How do you even quantify
There's no such thing as nothing. Exactly. We have finally some sign of intelligence in this room. That's brilliant. The reason why is because those virtual particles exist. There are fluctuations in the quantum field.
There's fluctuations in the quantum field?
You repeatedly
That's the way I look at virtual particles.
Mike,
you can imagine a bunch of
Jem is talking. Your mic is loud.
I'm just saying he's repeatedly asserted you can't have something from nothing. And now he's celebrating because someone's saying there's no such thing as nothing.
Exactly. I think that's...
You can't make the statement you can't have something from nothing if you don't believe in the concept of nothing.
Exactly why you can't have something from nothing, because nothing can never exist.
You can
that's exactly why. That's why logically it follows.
Brahmi, you can define nothing in multiple ways. There's a physics definition of nothing that is obtainable.
So a physics definition of nothing would be what? Absence of matter, energy, time and space.
Absence of particles within a given space.
Well, that's still got space in there, and that's still something. So
that's their definition of nothing.
Well, it's not the definition of nothing, so it's something from something.
You have a definition of nothing doesn't mean it is.
Not really. Not really. So physics are saying something from something, but kind of saying very, very, very less of something, which is still something. It's literally not nothing.
It's literally not anything.
The absence of material.
Space is actually something.
Three-dimensional
right?
space leads to the production of these virtual particles.
So three-dimensional
You may
space is
disagree with
something.
that. You may disagree with their definition of nothing, but within the scope of their field, it is correct epistemologically.
So they're trying to say things pop into existence out of nothing, but realistically they're talking about as space, out of a space empty of matter and energy. Well, they can't really take the energy out of the space, but they're saying it's absence of normal things. So therefore, it's nothing.
Don't add anything to it, Romy. Just leave it as it is.
It's still space. Space is still something. So you're getting something from space.
Something.
Think of if
it's still true.
Definition is not the one he likes.
If you think this definition is incorrect, you should think about other definitions of the word nothing and how it's normally used. And usually, it's not even as stringent as this, is it? Most people will say, if you open a box and there's nothing in it, they'll say there's nothing, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And there is.
But to say you get something from that nothing is absurd.
There is actually, according to you, at least the space within the box, which is something. And in this particular case, there's air in the box as well.
Yeah,
so
there
normally, when we refer to nothing, it isn't nothing, is it?
Right.
Exactly.
I would say most of the times we use the word nothing, we aren't referring to actually nothing.
Exactly. So you can never have something from nothing.
That's where the equivocation comes in, because you can't have actions like popping into existence based off nothing. You need to have a body. And so if something is able to have activity from this nothing, that would imply that there's a body of something for something to pop into existence out of.
Wait. Lemon, what do you mean axiom that things are popping out of nothing? It's demonstrable, and it's been observed that things are popping in and out of existence.
So when physics says
something. Stop applying your definition of nothing.
The bottom line is when physics people say nothing, they actually mean something. That's the bottom line.
The bottom line is when everyone says nothing, they mean nothing according to your rules, bro.
Because nothing can never exist. That's the entire point of my argument. It's the very basis. You can never have nothing.
But clearly, we have a concept of nothing that people have a word for and use all the time. So clearly, nothing does exist. It just doesn't. It just doesn't exist in the sense that you want it to, or want to limit it to.
If you say so.
Because if you can limit it to this one use and meaning, then you can make it seem like things don't make sense. But of course, it isn't limited to this one use and meaning, and that's how it does make sense.
Right. You have to stop
typical Gem, like just pissing on everything I'm saying. At the end of the day, it's not just because I'm trying to be awkward or any of it else. But the fact of the matter is, nothing can never exist. You can never quantify, explain, or to truly nothing will never exist, and that's the truth. So you accept that. You either agree with that, or you're a retard. If you don't agree with that, then you're a retard. It's as simple as that.
And if you don't understand the type of nothing they're explaining, you're the retard, because they're being very
brilliant.
And they are elaborating on
nothing can ever exist. You either agree or you don't agree. If you don't agree, that's good for you.
Well, but that's using your specific definition of the word nothing that nobody else is using from me.
Okay,
right?
If you say so. If you say so.
Give me an example of where somebody is using this definition of nothing.
The absolutely truly meaning of nothing is absolutely absence of absolutely everything. That's space, time, everything.
What you're describing is this area.
That is the true.
Who gets to decide what the true?
And I'm well. You know what? The truth is the truth.
It sounds like you're just saying it.
The truth is the truth.
Should we not just go with the meaning of the word nothing?
Should we go with your meaning of the word nothing, which actually means something?
Well,
is that what you want me to do?
The generally held one. How about that? Not mine or your. Not listen. Not mine. Not my specific one. Not your specific one. But the generally held one in the English language, or one of the generally held ones, because there are several, I guess.
So you want me to hold a position of a contradiction? No, thank you.
I want you to understand your native language.
It's just common sense. You either got it or you ain't. If you think nothing can exist and say something is popping into that nothing.
You're saying the same thing again. You're whistling past
But
my
your point is that I should agree to everyone else's definition of nothing, which actually means something.
Well, you cannot be understood.
I don't care if a million people say that something is nothing. It's still something.
Okay.
So
you cannot be understood. You are incoherent if you are using your own language that nobody else is speaking, Brummy. You must understand.
Intelligent people understand what I'm saying, and that there's plenty of people that would agree with what I'm saying. Just because you lot don't agree doesn't mean there's other people out there that won't.
Yeah, but what you're saying is an area of space that doesn't have physics inside of it, and it is an unreachable goal. So obviously, no one is talking about your definition of nothing. You can't get past that.
Right.
Like I've already said, I understand your definition of nothing. I understand your definition of nothing, right? Which means something.
Way too high.
Your definition means something. Your definition means something.
According to you, all definitions mean something, Brummy.
They have to, because nothing is impossible.
Good. So we're going to disregard your nothing because it's impossible. Can we talk about the possible?
Do you not agree? So you think you can have some nothing then, or not?
I think your definition of nothing is nonsensical. We can't use it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I agree.
So it's not useful.
Of course, you have an echo chamber in here.
Okay, so let's use one that is useful. How about
I
that?
just want to use useful things.
Wait,
so your definition of nothing is something. Okay, I get it. Your definition of nothing is something. I get it.
According to you, all definitions of nothing are something.
According to anyone with a brain? According to anyone with a brain?
Well, the thing is,
you know that you've got a brain. You accept it too. Well done. Thank you.
we have something doing nothing. Nothing doing something though, which is a bit of a problem. And so
Exactly.
you can't have nothing doing something unless there is a substance or a body to perform an action. And so by that logic, space would have to be a substance, even if you believe that it's an Epicurean vacuum nothing. That's going to be illogical if stuff is popping out of it.
That's fine. We don't have anything to describe it with beyond the fact that there is nothing there that we can
Well,
measure.
there must be if something's popping into it.
What do you
Fucking
measure
hell.
it with? Tell me how you measure that, Brummy. What are you going to measure that
Because
space
your
with?
tools, I've already told you already, your tools are limited. You can't see beyond your tool, the capability of your
There's
tools.
nothing to
Doesn't mean there's
measure.
nothing there.
There's literally nothing to measure, Brummy.
If you say you believe in magic, I don't.
Not a thing to
So you
measure.
are.
That's
You're
why we call
literally
it nothing.
proposing magic. You're saying there's something there that we cannot detect in any way. We can't measure it in any way, but we
Absolutely.
should still consider it to be there.
For example, you probably wouldn't know. Hold on. For example, you wouldn't know atoms are there until you got the tools to see the atoms, right?
Right.
Or you cannot see certain things until you get the tools. So your tools are limited at the time that you're at. Maybe in a million years you might be able to see it further.
You would be justified to say that there is something there until you can demonstrate it somehow.
Yes, please invoke the what if monster. That's amazing line of.
How we
I can demonstrate your particles coming into something from something. There's my demonstration because you have something from something. To have nothing from something is a logical contradiction, and I'm not going to go on board with it. I don't care how many physics teachers or how many people agree with you lot. I don't mind being the only person in the world with a brain. I don't mind it. I don't mind being the only person in the
It
world.
has to match with your understanding of the world rather than the actual observations that are there. That's a difficult bias to get around.
Sorry, go on, Lemon. You wanted to speak as well, didn't you?
I was just going to say you need to have a framework that allows discovery. And if you're saying there's nothing there, you're not going to investigate. So
No,
admit
that's not
that there's
true.
probably something there with your logic, and then you're equipped to find out what the hell it is.
We will keep examining these things. But until we can demonstrate that there's something there, we don't have a reason to say
But
there
you
is.
can't demonstrate it because you don't even have a framework for it. You're not even going to
Demonstrate
know.
gas pressure of our container. Demonstrate gas pressure of our container. Demonstrate gas pressure of our container. No reason to believe it until you demonstrate it.
It's easy. Have you ever used a hand dryer? There you go.
That's
Gas pressure without a container.
air pressure already. You've already got air pressure. You're already living in
Feel
an
the air pressure on your hands, Brummy.
You already live in an air pressure system. I can't
You can feel
quantify
the
the
increase in the air pressure when you put your hands underneath the hand dryer. There's no
It doesn't matter.
container there. You're welcome.
You don't listen for longer than 10 seconds. It's all right.
You don't accept physical demonstrations.
Yeah, but you've got two services.
Right, you put
Brad.
look, I already said to you. You've already inside a pressure system.
No.
You're already inside.
Hold on,
The
bro.
pressure without a container.
Yeah, you've got two
You're already
services.
inside one. The Earth is a pressurized system
No,
in a
bro, that's
container.
not the answer to this. He's
Well,
talking
that's
about
radiant,
he's talking
whatever.
about an air dryer where
Whatever.
the air blows out, it hits your hand, and then you've got
Yeah,
the
and
other
there's an
surface.
increased pressure there.
Yes, you've got two
How
surfaces
can there be an increased pressure without a container?
because you've got
According to you.
Because you've got two walls, your hand and the wall that it's coming out of.
My hand comes out of a wall?
No, it comes out of your rear end. But you've got
No, it doesn't come out of my rear end. Try again.
The air dryer has a wall, and your hand is the other wall.
The air dryer isn't a wall.
It has
a tube.
It has a wall. It has a surface. It has a surface area, and your hand is the other surface area.
Yeah, it's not a wall. A fan is not a wall.
According to that, if I walk into the room, I should feel the pressure of the walls because now
Besides,
there are
you did
walls
not
surrounding
specify that there had to be a wall. You specified there had to be a container to have a pressure.
The definition
Where
of
is
gas
the pressure
pressure
around the fan that dries my hands in the bathroom?
The definition of gas pressure is the gas hitting the
There
walls.
isn't
The
one.
walls.
You're wrong, Kimo.
That's two walls. Your hand is one, and the other one is the air dryer.
Right, but those aren't a container.
No, but they're two
No one
walls.
would
They
ever
fit the
consider those
definition.
things to be a container.
They fit the
Yeah,
definition.
but when you move your hand, there's still air pressure there.
Yeah,
Point that air dryer up into the air or out into the atmosphere outside, and you could see that there's still air. Put smoke through it, and you could see that smoke blow through the air. There's no walls around it, but you could still see that smoke.
Ooh. So
where's the walls there?
So verbal, you've got the wall of the dryer and the wall
Run
of
away,
the
run away.
Everyone has experience.
So thank you,
You
Doctor.
disprove. You're welcome. You're
Come
welcome.
again.
I'll be happy to disprove you with simple examples that everyone
I've given
can
you a
understand.
diagnosis,
There
Doctor.
are
Come
no
again.
walls except for the walls of the air dryer in your hand, of course. Other than that,
Exactly. They're the two walls, the two surfaces, and that's how
Right,
you get the
but
pressure.
again, you're moving the goalpost. Your point was that there had to be a container.
No, the point is
container
the
in that
definition,
example.
Doctor. The definition is the walls. That's where the pressure comes
You
from.
said container. You said container for about a year.
And that's where it's contained between your hand and the wall.
But my hand is not a container.
No, but it's a surface area which
specifically
is
said there must be
creating
a
it's
container
contained in the
for
air.
air pressure.
Yeah, but it's contained
And
in
also,
the air.
if you want to be technical,
Not
the
containing the
dryer
air.
is a fan.
How you
My
get the
hand is
pressure
only
then?
interjected in to dry my hands. I can feel the pressure. I withdraw my hands. The pressure is still there.
But the thing is, you made it an example of a container with air pressure without a container when it's just a fan. It's just blowing air through the air drying
still an
device.
example.
So it's not even a good
Wow,
example.
yeah, it's still an example of a difference in air pressure,
It's a
which you
great
said can't
example
exist
that you
without
need
a
by the way
container.
measurable,
lemon bird.
It's
What's wrong
measurable
with
with
these
your
cobras,
hand.
man? What's wrong with
Hand
these
in there.
cobras? You say, can show me gas pressure at a container, and they show you gas pressure inside a container with a hairdryer. You're inside a pressurized gas system already. We're asking you to show us that separate from the thing you're living in. You're just going to put a fan on.
It's a pressure that wasn't there before. You turn on the hand dryer. There is a new pressure that is there without a container.
No.
How
of
you
course there's a
You're showing
container.
me, right? You're showing
said
me.
it's only possible to get pressure with a container.
Don't get it, do you?
losing
You
it.
really don't get it. You live the world you live
I'm
in,
just
right?
giving you
Is
an
what,
example you asked for, Brummy.
can you listen for longer than 5 seconds? You don't
I've
get
I've been
the
listening
answer.
for over a year, Brummy.
If you understood it right, you wouldn't be you're like now a flat earther tipping water on a ball and saying, "Why isn't it sticking to the ball?" That's how dumb you are. Going, look at this hair dryer. You were equivalent to being as thick as that. You don't understand the question. Gas pressure without a container, do you?
What's the current goalpost?
Right, no
Oh, now it's
dueling,
the
Clive.
hand
We're
in
on
the
point
wall
here.
in
We're
front of the
talking
container in
about
front of
gas.
your
We're
hand.
talking about
The actual
verbals.
point. What is the actual objective here?
verbal
The
situation.
objection is Flurfs can't understand hair dryers.
No, not hair.
No,
dryers, air dryers.
Actually answer his question. Chemo
Can we
keeps
get at
saying,
least 15
Curve.
people to answer? Minimum
Curve.
15, please.
Chemo,
Let me explain to Curve because it gets me. Curve does. He said we were talking about. He said particles go in and out of existence, and he said until we can demonstrate that, there's no reason to believe that. So I made a cheeky comment saying, well, why should we believe gas pressure without a container if we can demonstrate it? Now he's saying that if you get a hairdryer and you put it onto your hand, you'll feel the gas particles bounce off your hand, therefore getting the pressure. But him saying that is equivalent to a flat earther tipping water on a ball and going, oh, why isn't it good to the ball, flat earther? Because you're not understanding the question at hand. So the question you're living in a gas system that has pressure adjacent to a near perfect vacuum,
Okay.
and we're assuming that that's pressure contained. So,
Right, so-
you need to show us that happening without a container.
All right, so what you're looking for
Oh my god.
is different pressures with no container, no divider between them. Is that correct? No physical barrier, so to say?
No,
yeah, gas
verbal
pressure
said,
is
hold
Like the hair
on.
dryer's out because it's got material walls and shit, right?
No, the hairdryer's out because the air it's pushing is already a pressurized gas system anyway.
No,
the air that you're pushing inside your living room or anywhere outside is already pressurized gas.
Brummy, that's not what he's saying.
Chemo,
he's not saying
you don't
that.
understand the question.
Listen to what Verbal's saying. He's saying that the hairdryer is gas pressure without the container.
We're getting away from that for a moment. We don't need to beat on this.
He's saying when it blows on his hand, he's saying there's no container.
Exactly what you're looking for.
Therefore, gas pressure without the container.
Trying to find out what the goal is.
Curve, you just derailed
you understand.
You understand?
The air that's pushing with the hairdryer that's pushing the air, right?
I don't have anything to fucking say about a hairdryer. I'm not looking for what you don't want. I'm looking for what you do want. And as I summed up, you want two different pressures with no divider. Is that correct?
No, that's not what we're asking for.
Then what is your complaint?
You're way off topic. We're on about Verbal saying he's got gas pressure without a container.
I'm giving you two different pressures without any containers.
I would like to see that, Curve. I would like to see that.
It's called the atmosphere. You can look at it several different ways. One is in weather systems. High pressure and low pressure fronts. Show me the container between the high pressure and the low pressure, please.
Well, gravity is your container.
Not for this. No, you don't get to play that. But still, we have unmistakable high pressure and low pressure. Where is the container?
How do we confirm there's no container?
What fucking container is out there in the atmosphere running around with the weather?
We have a category
because we have gravity acting as a container.
Okay, stupid confirmed. I've had enough fun. Thank you. Back as you were.
Gravity is invisible.
Invaluable as always.
So we're talking.
That was pretty good. At least you got more.
You guys are talking about more pressure next to less pressure. You guys are talking about something different, and you're talking past each other. We're talking about pressure next to no pressure.
No, not.
Show me pressure next to no. Show me pressure next to no pressure anywhere in the universe.
Well, all I'm saying is, if you're using a hairdryer or oh god.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're both talking at the same time. Go for it. You go first.
No, your turn.
I was going to say.
He doesn't want to address the point of show me somewhere in the universe where we have no pressure next to, where we have pressure next to no pressure. He wants.
Okay, Brummy, it's your turn after Foolish. Go ahead.
Well, all I'm saying is there is no demonstration of that.
Demonstration of what?
Gas pressure of a container inside of a vacuum. You know what I mean? Inside of a vacuum, we want gas holding down to a surface and gas not going omnidirectional because of the force on it, acting on it apparently, containing it and holding it down.
You want gas pressure inside of a vacuum?
Yeah, they have this. It's called magnetic containment.
Oh god, not the kosher. I'm not responding to it. It's just so stupid.
I'm just clarifying, Brummy. Hold on.
Same conversation over again. They're plasmoids. They're not gas molecules. You're using a magnetic field to hold down gas.
That wasn't what was asked for you, Brummy. Brummy, it was asked of you. Show us anywhere in the universe gas pressure next to no gas pressure.
We don't believe it's possible. That's why. That's what you guys believe it's
next to low pressure, not gas next
God,
to
I can't even finish a sentence without someone talking over me. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but they're straw.
Well, I'm bringing you back to the point that was asked of you that you fucking avoided like the plague.
Stop straw manning.
No, Kosho jumping in with his magnetic field holding plasmoids, and then we had somebody else I'm trying to respond to, and then you're fucking chapping on in the background. What's your question? Do you want a direct answer? You'll get it.
Yeah, it's only been asked of you 3 times.
I feel I've already answered it. There's nowhere in the world you show gas pressure.
You avoided it like the fucking plague is what you did, and you do every time.
To be fair, it was Robin that made the claim.
Where in the universe? Here we go. There's another person talking. What's your fucking question?
Quit crying, Brummy. Just participate in the conversation.
Yeah, Brummy, just go to your room, have a good cry, and you'll feel better.
I've done that now. Now, what's the question?
Come on, Brenda, quit bullying everyone with crying.
I apologise for trying to stick up for Brummy. I won't do that again.
So yeah, Anakin already told us there's nowhere in the universe that's you guys believe gas pressure without a container. Like we don't believe that.
No, that is not what anybody's. That is not the question. What you're doing now is creating a straw man of the question. Anywhere in the universe where there is gas pressure next to no gas pressure.
Exactly.
He said he doesn't think it's possible.
That's what you believe in?
That. No, it's not.
No, isn't it? Oh, it's not. What is it then, bro?
No,
his answer was he doesn't think it's possible. He thinks that we think it is possible. That's his answer, right?
That might be his answer, but that's not what happens.
Right. I don't disagree with you on that point. But he did answer it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
are
he
you
did.
saying that it's a pressure gradient towards space, so it gets more and more closer to nothing, but isn't quite nothing? Because if you're saying that, you're kind of admitting that space is a substance that can take actions like exert pressure and be next to a pressurized system. At that point, that changes the game.
There's no pressure exerted by a vacuum. That's an oxymoron in terms. You can have pressure exerted from a pressure system into a lower pressure system. Happily agree with that. It's more of a push rather than a pull.
And actually, that makes a lot of sense because now space, the vacuum of space, is more like a substance that everything can mix with and rush into. That actually makes a lot of sense.
What?
I have no idea. I just made my point. I just kind of ignoring the rest of it.
So you basically were implying that space is a substance that's exerting
No,
pressure.
I wasn't implying that. I was saying the fact that the energy, the work is being done from the pressurized system, forcing its way into the lower pressure system, where you have large pressure discrepancies. So the work is coming from the pressurized side and moving to the non-pressurized side. Lots of energy one side, fuck all, or the square root of fuck all energy the other side.
So it's an energy-filled medium that's like a fluid, like the difference between two fluids osmotically. You know, you have a super concentrated
I rest
fluid,
my case and my pointless
ether that everything's trying to rush into in the vacuum, and that's why when you take away the container, everything rushes into the vacuum, like it's a fluid or something where
No, not at all. It's like a tug of war. Yep. It's like having 50 people on one end of the rope and a dead person on the end of the other. Yeah, you're gonna win with the people on the other side of the rope. There's no one's pulling from the other side.
Next to low pressure. Stop derailing, as per usual.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Timo. This is really annoying. Every time you think someone's making a point, you've got to say they're derailing.
Yeah, but you're socialising.
And you're the one that monologues meaningless drivel for hours.
You know what a better way?
We're talking about science, and you're just socializing. Get back to the science.
You know, Dress, you made a good idea though, because if you imagine like a train car with like 100 cars, right? And the very first car is like a Japanese, style subway car. It's completely full to the brim, and then the next car right after that is completely empty. You can see that the high pressure is going to immediately flow into that low pressure. Okay. But if you have an immensely packed car in front, and you have a slightly less packed second car, slightly more third car, and you keep going all the way back till you get to the end of the car, and it's like one or two people in there, but it's not because they're next to a high pressure car right next to them. It slowly becomes less pressurized. So you guys are thinking of it like it's right next to this other system when it's not. It's a long ways away and it has time to gradiate away until it becomes next to zero.
Okay, so you don't think they don't know that? They don't think they haven't heard that from us like 1,000 times? I mean, and it's just it is. I mean, I made the point earlier on.
You're not talking the rest of the day.
Yeah.
If I say something, I'm going to say something, right?
No, I'm fully support your point, and I think
then don't say anything to me then. Yeah. Say it to them. To someone else.
Constantly derailing.
All this shit's been said to them many times, man. That goes without saying.
And then you get Chemo saying, "Oh, he's just derailing the conversation and making more problems from that." And again, it's just a cause for device.
Oh my gosh!
Sorry.
Get back to the science. Romy's making a very good point. Talking about the gas pressure next to
Yes, Brummy's never made it.
Yeah, it's impossible. Like they can't. It's never going to be demonstrated. They won't concede that it can't be demonstrated. Instead, what they keep saying is, "Oh, there's a gradient. Oh, well, look at the atmosphere. Oh, look at this fan. Oh, look at this hairdryer." Like, not the answer though, bro. It's like saying I'm pouring water on a ball. Why ain't it sticking to the ball? Like, you guys don't get it.
That at all.
It is. It's exactly like that. Show us gas molecules being pulled down to a surface, exposed to, a vacuum where it's got pressurized gas on a surface. That's what your model is. Your model is an open surface with pressurized gas on it, right next to it, surrounded by a fucking infinite vacuum of space. Sorry?
No, we.
A vacuum. You see, you don't even know what a vacuum is, Brummy.
All right. So vacuums don't suck, yeah. Vacuums don't suck. You don't fuck you. Vacuums don't suck, man.
That is what I was going to say, but
what pressure does press, mate? Pressure does press, and you have pressurized gas holding down to a surface inside of a vacuum.
Gosh, you're smart.
No, not inside of a vacuum.
It is inside of a vacuum. The infinite vacuum
No,
of
it's not.
space. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It's within, but not in a vacuum.
Yeah, so it's within but not in. What are you talking? What language is that? It's within but not in. Are you trying to play some semantical bullshit game with me? Are you trying to do retardation on me?
Brummy,
Are you trying your inconsistent logic on me?
Brother, can you calm down?
No, but Anarchy gets me on because he's so inconsistent. It's cognitive dissonance. It's cognitive dissonance. Just spews out his mouth every time he talks.
Stop showing off to your baby.
So,
are you triggered now?
One second. I mean, the problem I've got with that is the fact that we don't have this pressurized system next to a vacuum. No, we have low pressure next to lower pressure next to lower pressure, don't we?
Right.
Every
But the grand scheme of your grain of sand on a football pitch, the football pitch size times a billion is probably the space that around that grain of sand that's apparently holding down gas molecules onto it. That's the scale we're talking about. Yeah,
and that's just an argument from incredulity. I don't care.
And you're talking about a gradient on a grain of sand inside of a space that's infinitely sized. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and we have an infinite variation between the numbers 1 and 2. So what?
And you want to break it down to it's a gradient. It's like it goes down.
It's
slowly.
a gradient. Yes, and you agree it's a gradient.
Yes, low pressure next to lower pressure.
Hold on.
Completely
lower pressure and lower pressure and lower pressure.
Can I give you maybe an example that you haven't thought of, Brummy? So imagine it like this: when you're at the sea level on the Earth, the pressure is this certain value, and if you were to look at the gas particles, you would notice that there is a finite distance between the gas particles, where there isn't anything, where there's an absence of particle. That distance between the particles increases as you go up away from the surface of Earth, till the point where there is such a large distance between the particles, there's no interaction between them. And the further and further away you get, the bigger that distance gets.
Impossible.
At some point, you would call that space, where you're basically interacting with the space between the particles and not the particles themselves.
Yeah, that's impossible.
That's what we're referring to when we say outer
That's
space.
impossible. All the gas would fill the available space.
You're derailing, Chemo. Fuck off.
Well, what you're proposing is impossible. When do we see gas
it's not.
fill the available space?
There isn't anything between the individual particles, even on the ground.
How can that happen? It has to
space
fill
is
if
very
there's a
small.
space, it's going to fill it.
There is nothing in between the particles of gas at sea level,
nonsense.
Chemo.
Absolute nonsense.
It's a very tiny space.
No, Chemo. What you're saying is nonsense because you would be making air a solid if that were the case, Chemo. And even then, there's space between molecules and solids.
Nonsense. Gas will fill that space.
Derailing.
That's the current understanding.
And either way, we have density equilibrium that would bring the gas down to Earth anyway.
Right.
There is no space.
But as that
between
pressure
the
decreases, the space between the molecules decreases. Until you get to a point where you're basically not interacting with these gas particles anymore. You're interacting almost with empty space.
I don't know what to. I don't know. I don't clearly see the distinction between what point you're trying to make. I don't quite get it.
Like molecules, they think molecules would just separate like a
No,
ball,
what
two
am I missing?
balls, and start splitting apart, and then between them,
Not
Brummy,
the molecules.
there's nothing
No
in
one
between
says
them.
that.
I said, as the pressure decreases, the distance between the particles increases.
So, Brummy, they think the molecules between them, there's nothing in between them. Nonsense.
Nothing in between the
There
molecules.
isn't. What's in between
There's
molecules? Empty space.
Empty space, exactly. That's what Brummy's
There's
talking about.
empty space
isn't it?
everywhere.
Space, exactly. Like,
They're mostly made of empty space.
Chemo, you were literally trying to say that all of the universe is a singularity if you're saying that there's no space between anything.
No, there's no space between the gases. It all fills the space. Any space that's available will
You're a
be
fucking
filled.
moron.
It's like you guys saying in water, there's space like between the water. What nonsense
between the water
are you
molecules.
talking about?
Yeah.
What, there's pockets and holes under the ocean like with no water there. What nonsense.
Chemo, that's
Fractions of the size of the actual particles of water, yes.
Yes, chemo, that's demonstrable by mixing. Well, chemo, that's demonstrable by mixing an equal volume of alcohol and an equal volume of water. You will not get a volume that is equal to the sum of those two parts. You'll wind up with a volume that is less.
Also, you have hydrostatic pressure where you have same volume but different amount of water. And obviously, there's space there.
Right.
Yeah, chemo. If I take 2 liters of pure grain alcohol and I mix it with 2 liters of water, I will not get 4 liters of liquid.
Where did that alcohol go?
Because of the interactions and the space available for those two things to go, I wind up with a matrix of water with lots of hydroxyl right in between them. Well, with lots of
Hydrogen
ethanol right in
bonding.
between it.
Hydrogen bonding, bro.
Yep.
That's always the answer.
So what you're saying is demonstrably wrong, Chemo. There has to be empty space between things. Otherwise, every time you add 2 volumes, you should always get exactly the combined volumes. And we don't get that.
Well, when it comes to gas, they will fill the available space.
No.
This is what I'm thinking about this.
No, Chemo. You are making the atmosphere more dense than any solid if you do that.
I'm thinking oh god. You have got pressure, haven't you? You got pressure, and that pressure does press. So what's containing that gas from going out and filling space? They're talking gravity. Can you show gravity pulling down the gas and create pressure? No, you can't. So why should we believe it?
Make him define Phil as he means it here.
I have no idea what he means.
He won't do it.
fucking make is that?
Someone's in a car or something.
That's pure.
Oh, sorry.
Patrick.
No, my bad. We got a big fucking windstorm. Shut the fuck up, Chemo, with your fucking railing lines this morning. Eat a great big bag of dicks, motherfucker.
What do you mean by fill, Chemo? What do you mean fill the available space?
Well, I
So
mean,
full
like,
that you can't get any more in it? What?
I mean, have you seen the demonstration of entropy?
Tommy,
And they show you.
when is your
Hold
name,
on,
Chemo?
I'm trying to respond. Trying to respond to someone saying, "What do I mean by
swear
Phil?"
to
I said
fucking
Phil.
God. You enjoy
Yeah,
this,
Chemo.
Chemo? Silly question. I know you do.
No, actually, there's too much noise going on.
Well, why aren't you answering the question put to you? Why are you just sitting there allowing Brummy to run over
Sorry
you
about
like
that. Sorry, I thought you said Phil because I said fill the space, right? And yeah, I also said the same word, so I don't know who you was addressing.
What do you mean by Phil?
Brummy can answer it.
No, you can answer
well,
for you, Chemo.
I watched
You're the
one
one
of
that
the
said it.
oh,
You
God.
can answer what you mean. And then Brummy's free to say whatever derp he wants to about it.
I'm eating a
But
cream
you need
egg.
to answer the question, Chemo.
After,
Will you shy away again? Yes.
I'm having a Cadbury's cream egg, so after it.
You're having a meltdown.
Bye, Chemo.
How do you eat yours?
What's he talking about?
Oh, they won't get it. But carry on, Brummy, then. Explain to
Derailing.
them the space.
Tell us
Tell us what you mean by
means
fill,
by
please.
fill the space.
Is it like you're filling the gas tank?
Chimo's referring
You
to
filling up?
Cadbury's cream eggs. I cracked mine open down the length, chemo, and then.
Oh, I was joking. I am eating one, but I'm joking. But
Well, what?
You need to get into how you eat it. I was joking.
Right. Well, I was joking too.
I break it, dip my finger in the thing.
No, I don't dip my finger in. You do? You dip your finger in. You sick fuck.
Right, Brummy, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm
So
listening.
you're not going to answer Curve's question?
Been in the space.
Talking about how
just being silly, wasting
how does
time.
energy
So I'm not
work
going to
and
bother
how does
answering that nonsense.
the air that's pressurized in one side of the tank, what does it fill the other side? Obviously the vacuum doesn't suck, but obviously air does press, and the air pressure pushes it into the available space. So I'm wondering why that isn't happening on the model, the heliocentric model. They're saying gravity. So now they have to interrupt and derail. Okay, go for it.
Trying to get to the point. You just want to ramble on for days because you love the sound of your own fucking voice. Answer the fucking question, make your point, let somebody respond to it.
Answer the question, make your point.
God,
vertically.
Child except.
So you've derailed the conversation. Brilliant, Curve. That's your job here, isn't it?
You still never defined. You didn't define Phil.
Phil. Yeah, I'd like to fill something up.
Okay, you just use the word. Say it in a sentence and boom, there it is. Define.
I'm talking about
you're a
something
clueless wonder.
You want to derail the
Can you
conversation.
do any better?
You're derailing the conversation, Curved. I want to talk about the actual point
I
you're
want
making
to
about
define
entropy
the word
increasing.
What do you mean
pill.
by
I want to use the word pill.
I point blank asked you, what do you mean by pill?
I mean, I don't
well,
want to be distracted
guy.
by making the point that I'm making.
What?
He's a
I don't
bold
want to be
guy.
distracted by you, Curve. I don't want to be distracted by Curve asking me to explain Phil.
Phil's in EastEnders. He's a bold
You
guy.
had trouble answering the question, trying to explain the question to you. You got to talk over.
Chemo's turn. It's Chemo's turn to answer what Phil means, right?
Bunch of fucking basic bitches.
Phil, he has a brother called Grant, a mother called Peggy.
No. You used the word Phil to describe how you fill the air.
Yeah, he used to with the Vic.
Tell us what you mean by that word, because we don't know.
I am explaining.
Go on.
Yeah, Phil.
So, you know, like when
Peggy.
you have food
Yeah.
and you stuff your face, you feel your face. You understand what that means, right?
Phil, something that would never happen to Chemo's
Hemo.
brain.
Hemo, if I have an oxygen tank and I put 10 liters of air in it, is it full of air?
Something that you failed to do, yes, when you went for the job position. Fill it.
Hemo, if I have an oxygen tank and I put 10 liters of
You really want to
air
know
in
what
it,
Phil
is it
means,
full of air?
Kurt?
Is it full of air if I put 10 liters of air in it?
Come on, let's start being silly now. We know that if there's an available space,
I'm not silly.
the gas will fill it. So why doesn't the gas fill the available space in space?
What size
There is
is
gas
the
in
tank? How do
space.
you know it's full? Why do you use the word full?
No, the gas that is the space that is available above.
You didn't even ask what size the tank was.
No, we're talking about the atmosphere. There's an available space above the atmosphere. Why doesn't it fill that space?
It's more dense than
Any
low
amount
air.
of gas will fill any amount of available space. Is that what you're saying?
Gas, if it's high pressure and there's low pressure, will go into the low pressure. Yes.
You're avoiding.
So how exactly
Of course they are.
state that it isn't filled?
Isn't what? How do
Look, Kima, if you don't want to talk about this, you're obviously uncomfortable. We can talk about my lawnmower and how happy I am that it started with last season's gas in it. Would you rather do that, Kimo?
I'd rather you stop derailing.
Then
Is it a
answer the
riding
fucking
lawnmower?
question.
Is it a riding lawnmower or is it a self-propelled lawnmower?
He gets
doesn't
another
the-
chance. Come on. Quit stalling the conversation, Kimo.
We'll try to learn something.
Okay,
If you have an
Kimo, why
available
doesn't the
You've been
high...
here 6 years, man.
If you have an available space, there is gas.
Kimo,
It will fill it.
Kimo, why doesn't the high pressure over here rush to the low pressure at 10 kilometers in altitude?
Where's
There's
that?
space there, obviously.
Where?
What do you mean where?
Say
At
again.
10 kilometers in altitude.
Okay. It's the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same from top to bottom.
It's not. There's a gradient.
No, there's not. Where's the pressure come from?
No, there's pressure gradient. Why doesn't the pressure go there?
Where does the pressure gradient come from?
I don't. Why would I?
Exactly my point. So don't make up nonsense.
Yeah, so you can't
Stick
answer.
to the real
Doesn't
world.
understand the question because you're asking a malformed question.
He said it's lower pressure up there than it is down here, and I said no, it was the same because it would fill the space.
It's not the same. Have you ever been on a
It's the
plane?
same.
No, it's
How do you establish that it's the same?
Same from top to bottom.
Why is an airplane pressurized? Why is an airplane pressurized, Kimo?
An airplane is depressurized.
No, it's
No, it's
pressurized
not.
when you go up.
He says depressurized.
Jesus, depressurized.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Well,
Chemo.
they lower the pressure in an airplane. They lower the temperature
No,
in
they
an
keep the
airplane. You
pressure
don't have an
the same so you can
increase.
breathe normally.
You don't have an increase in temperature or pressure.
You've never
in an
been on a
airplane.
plane,
It's
have
almost
you?
like he's got a
If you
fundamental
increase the
misunderstanding.
pressure, you increase
No,
the
yeah.
temperature. We don't see that inside an airplane. Exactly.
Okay, you're a fucking.
Yeah, you don't ever see pressure. You have to measure
Yeah,
it.
you don't feel
Yeah,
pressure.
Kimo,
You don't
you're
feel
too
an
retarded.
increase
No.
in temperature, so there's no increase in pressure. Very simple thing. In fact, the air conditioning makes it
Simple.
cooler in there, which would lower the pressure and lower the temperature. Now remember, if you're in a box
Kimo.
and you increase the temperature, you would increase the pressure in that box. Now, obviously,
Okay.
if you lower the
So, Kimo.
temperature, you will lower the pressure in
Kimo.
that box. Same on a plane.
So, Kimo,
If you lower the
when you go high in altitude, the pressure, the temperature drops. What happens to the pressure?
Where does the pressure come from?
Oh, fuck off.
Answer the question.
Exactly.
Kimo.
Don't make
Jesus
up
Christ.
He's not
nonsense if you
going
can't support your
to. The
claim.
more you press him to answer the question.
You make wild claims. I can
The-
tell you where the
the-
temperature comes from. It's very simple. The sun's gone, the temperature drops. Now you're saying there's pressure.
I'm gonna ask him a question. You're not gonna fucking answer any questions.
I have answered all your questions.
No, you
No, you
haven't.
haven't.
That's
But if you're gonna make
delusional.
stuff up about pressure and not say where it comes from, how can we have a conversation that's honest?
Kimo.
What's the same thing for us to do? Keep asking them questions? Keep
No,
letting
the
them
the
run
idea
around,
is
prance
to
around,
accept
playing
the
this little
truth,
game?
Curb. Accept the truth.
Is that what we should do?
Accept
That
the
makes
truth.
sense.
Just accept the truth.
Pretty logical.
No, what we should do is demob this asshole because he is the most dishonest person on the server.
I try to be as
Nah,
honest
that ain't
as
gonna
possible.
happen.
I try to be as
You're
honest
a
as
fucking
possible.
liar,
lying.
Chemo.
Liar.
Kimo, you
poor
said that
liar.
you get,
Lies.
Oh my gosh.
Kimo, you said that you get the
Yes.
temperature from the sun, but when you go up, the temperature goes down, but you're closer to the sun.
Well,
Well. Yeah. Well.
not just the sun that gives. It's got the atmosphere.
Oh.
Well, right.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So, lower pressure.
Now you're gonna make something else up.
Yeah.
What's making?
I thought temperature was pressure. Now I'm totally confused.
In a
I know.
Because you said the temperature and the pressure
in
are
a
the same
contain-
throughout.
Doctor, you really need to revise the way you see the word. In a container, if you
It's
increase
not the way I
pressure,
see the world. This is how
In a
you describe it to me.
container.
in a container, the temperature and pressure increase together. Yes.
Okay,
But outside here,
So you're
What?
saying that there's
No,
not
we're-
actually a
okay.
container.
but outside
Okay,
here,
so
there is no.
Chemo,
Oh my
Chemo,
gosh! Oh
hold
my
on.
gosh!
You
yes,
just said
yes,
something.
yes,
No, I'm gonna
yes.
Stay on
address
target.
this point. You said
Mhm.
temperature and pressure increases together.
In a container, pure. In a container. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
That
No,
doesn't
they
happen here on
don't.
Earth. Therefore, Earth is not a container.
Yeah, that's what he was getting at.
You've been negated.
I didn't say Earth's a container.
By your
Who
own
says we're in a
words.
container? Not a container. Never said a container. We are in what I speculate.
You
we're
have
in,
said a
like,
container.
a
You've said a
density-
container many times.
Oh
You're
yeah,
witness
yeah,
to
right,
us.
Doctor. Now I
Your
know
God
you
will
just.
punish you one day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Now
what
I
were
know
you
you
gonna
just-
speculate? What were you
Guys,
going to speculate,
guys,
Chemo? What are we in?
You cannot
Yeah, so
hold
what we're
Evo
in-
to any one point because he will not allow you to tell him what he knows and what he said. He is not bound by anything that he says.
Because it changes during every conversation. Every conversation, it has to
Chemo,
change.
let me ask you something.
Okay.
So why, when you get closer to the source, i.e., the sun, Why does the pressure and the temperature drop the closer you get?
Well, where does the pressure come from?
Answer my question, sir.
How can I answer your question if we don't know where the pressure comes from in the first place?
We're trying to get you to answer that question right now.
How can we answer something we have no idea of its origin?
Again, I don't get. It doesn't matter what its origin is. Why does the pressure increase or decrease and the temperature decrease the closer you get to the source, the sun?
How do you know there's pressure, Pure?
Because I can measure it.
How?
With a barometer. Now answer the fucking question.
Barometers presuppose gravity, and they actually go down when you go higher.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, but when you go up the mountain with your barometer...
Irrelevant. Chemo, answer my fucking question.
The mercury goes down. So therefore...
Answer my question.
How can I answer a question if you're just including magic? Forces.
No. I didn't do anything. You did.
You're just being ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
He's a troll. I don't think he even believes in the flat earth. I don't think he believes in any of the nonsense that he says. He comes on here to troll everyone, and then when he logs off, he sits there and laughs, being like, ha ha ha, I got him. Really. He's clearly lying about all this. He knows gravity's real. Correct. He knows we don't live in a container.
Yes.
He knows the earth is a sphere. I know.
This is why I call you disingenuous and dishonest, and a disgrace to the human species, Chemo.
Are we done?
He's well aware of all this, though.
Are we done?
None of that's new.
Oh no, Veets wants to get his
Chemo, important question. Real quick. Doesn't Mike sound like BB?
No.
Slightly. I see where you're coming from, but not really. Look, Mike, I understand. Look, it looks like this now.
Somebody does say it every day.
I know, yeah.
Or perhaps Mike could just, can you stop sounding so much like BB?
Let's get this straight. Let's get this straight. BB sounds like me. Okay.
No, BB sounds like
BB sounds
crazy.
Sounds
BB
like me.
talks like
and
he says, y'all are all just idiots. He has a really deep voice and talks really slowly.
I think he does sound like Mike, but he is like slower and creepier. He does sound more like an evil villain.
Me?
Like
Oh, okay. So I've heard a video with him in it, and I will also agree that I do sound like him. However, let me rephrase that. He sounds like he sounds like me.
He does sound like it.
Anyway, I do feel sorry for you, Mike, but the crush you have to bear is not as great as mine, because I have to have people telling me I sound like Nathan Oakley.
No, you don't.
No, that wind is terrible.
Whoever said that, it was obviously fucking
American.
Tripping. Yeah, but I'm American, and you don't sound like Nathan.
Is this you, Air Globers, conceding we're not on a board? Is that the idea?
No, not at all. This was a way to, because you're not going to answer any question ever, to at least have a better conversation than the one that was going on.
But again, if you're going to make up magical forces, then how can we answer those questions?
Nobody ever made up any magical force. You're the one that introduced this magical force.
Well, you said pressure. Where does the pressure come from?
Emo, you don't even know what
I didn't say that. I said that the temperature and the pressure, the barometric pressure decreases. With altitude, as you get closer to the sun.
The pressure. Come on.
Did you see how Chemo didn't even negate me saying that he knows the gravity's real and stuff? He kept quiet.
I don't really argue those types of things. I mean, it's your opinion. I mean, again, it's not about me. The most important thing is...
It is always about you, motherfucker. Then why did you jump in and go, oh, is this you conceding that the Earth is not a sphere? It's always about you.
Well, I got the sense that you'd given up the idea that the Earth is a globe. Obviously,
Pepper, go to push to talk, please.
It's really bad.
Yeah, you need to.
Is it coming back through again? I turned down the sensitivity. Sorry, it's a fucking 70-mile-an-hour storm, and I got to drive through it.
No,
Yeah,
right.
it's terribly
noisy. We are bound to be criticised on a regular daily basis, simply because we go against the mainstream narrative. Yes.
Yeah, you do. No, you do that, but it doesn't mean you're right. I could sit here and say that this lighter in front of me is not red all day, but it doesn't make me right. I could sit here and say that the people are calling this lighter red are cucks, and that they're NASA shills, and that they're not using science and evidence, and deny. It doesn't mean that the lighter is not red, Chemo.
Okay.
But
I mean, of course, we could be wrong. We could have made a mistake.
It's not a could be. It's not a could be. You are wrong.
Well, that's what I'm going to say.
Kimo,
On my side, your side, we're wrong, and I'm saying,
that,
but yeah, just to work with you, we could be wrong. If biodual,
no, you're definitely
for example,
wrong when you say something is. You're definitely wrong when you say something as stupid as there is no empty space between gas molecules. Because
yeah,
you've just made
again,
air.
a gas molecule. Has anyone ever seen a gas molecule? I don't think they have.
Yes, I am literally staring at quadrillions of them as we speak.
I know you say that, but could you provide the evidence for it? I don't think you could,
Yeah, I can feel the air. It's right here. I can see it. It's right here.
I know. You can feel the temperature, right?
I look outside and I see quantum diffraction, blue sky, boom, there's something there. I am watching molecules change white light into blue.
I know, but dude. Science.
That's what I thought.
We're not looking for the philosophy laboratory. We're looking for the science.
It's not philosophy. You can see error, okay?
No. When it comes to the heliocentric mod, we're looking for the science, because we were told there was science to support this.
And we show you. Literally just moments ago, we were posting evidence and experimental data that shows mass attracting mass, and you are blatantly saying that that's not allowed and that's not what we need. And we try our best to show you the Cavendish experiments, but no, it's got to be in a vacuum. We show you it's in a vacuum, but you can't do that. I'm sitting here on top of a building, dropping balls down, doing the calculations that show some sort of force, and you throw away that science. And then you come back at us saying that you have science when not one time in any way whatsoever have you actually produced anything scientific.
Exaggeration, that is. Slight exaggeration. Now,
Then show me one thing scientifically that shows the Earth is flat. One thing. One equation that disproves buoyancy force. One equation that shows anything that would completely disprove a round Earth. That would show contradictions in the science. Show you. Just one. Chemo, don't fucking divert the conversation. Show it.
What I'm about to say is throw away any ideas of a model. Throw it out. Okay?
That's impossible. Close your eyes, Chemo. Whether you believe we live on a round Earth or a flat plane, close your eyes and imagine you zooming outside of your house, and now you can see your house, and then you can see your city, and you can see your town and state, so on and so forth. Let's just assume that you believe in the dome over there. Let's just assume that it's clear. Draw me a picture of what you see.
Again.
That is called a model.
Another problem is the assumption. We have to throw them out also. Yes?
Bitch, that's all you do is assume. And again, don't get away from Mike's point. Show him something scientifically, according to your fucking quantum eraser standards, that proves the flat Earth. Show the experiment, Chemo. Put up or shut up time.
Look, it's just me.
No, we are not going to run away from this.
I'm not running away. I'm
right. But then answer the questions.
I am answering the question.
It's put up time, Chemo. Scientifically. Come on, show scientifically.
What? Show
with
what
your quantum eraser standards that the Earth is flat.
You're the one that says we got the science, we got the math. They don't have the math. They don't have the science. Show me.
Yeah, we got the facts, the figures, and the numbers. But what would you like to see scientifically?
Literally anything.
You don't even know what you want. You don't know what you're talking about. That's my point.
A flat Earth. Literally, I'm giving you the ball here. All it takes is one of anything. Okay?
Here you go. Chemo. One experiment that can only be indicative of a flat Earth.
Yes, absolutely. So we have the light, the reflection of the sun on the ocean, on the water there. And that cannot happen
That's
on
not an
a
experiment.
curved surface.
I said one experiment. That is only indicative of a flat Earth.
Well, flat Earth doesn't require experiments because it's not an observed phenomenon.
Oh, it does, though.
I thought you said you had the experiments. You had the science.
I heard he had these experiments, and I was sitting here with bated breath.
But now all of a sudden you don't, Chemo?
They don't need them. That's what he said.
No, on a flat Earth, unless there's an observed phenomenon, there's no experiments required.
The Earth being flat is an observed phenomenon. So, experiment time. Put up or shut up, Chemo.
Okay, what's the cause of the flat Earth then?
You tell me.
That's the point.
You're the one with the burden of proof.
Unless we can.
That sounds like he's not actually going to claim it's flat anymore if this is the case.
I know.
Well, it's horizontal. There's no curvature. Water at rest is flat and level and horizontal.
Hearing a lot of claims and no evidence, Chemo.
No experiments.
The evidence for that, liquid glass over 250 feet, yes, is absolutely flat, 100% level, horizontal, parallel, everything you need. Verify that liquid at rest.
I don't believe he's verified this or even measurements for it.
He's talking in circles just like he does, and he's waiting for the topic to change so he doesn't have to confront the fact that he has no experimental data, no math, no science, nothing. Everything that he claims to have, he doesn't. And every time we prove and show him that we have all the stuff that he says we don't have, he just simply says, "You can't do that. Where's the video?" And he moves goalposts. It is pathetic. That's why you are a disgrace to the human species. You are disingenuous and you are dishonest. I do not want you to have children.
What we have, is a method here, Mike, and this method helps us and guides us to knowledge, understanding, and gives us the information. Now,
tell me what this method is.
Obviously,
one step at a time. What's the method?
Obviously, if we have an observed
Shut up, Chemo. What's the method?
Obviously, if we have an observed phenomenon that is questionable, we're curious by this, then we would predict the cause to this with our hypothesis, and then we would conduct an experiment to show the results. See? So unless any of those things are happening on a flat Earth, it's not likely you're going to see a flat Earth experiment. Yes?
No.
Okay, so you admit you don't have an experiment that can prove that the Earth is flat. Congratulations.
Because it's not an observed phenomenon.
You claim that it's flat all the time.
You claim that it's observably flat. So
It's not a phenomenon. It's not questionable, though. It's obvious. You see it. And you see it.
And the order of operations that you just described is completely bonkers, and you do not do that because we have shown you pictures of curvature of bridges, for example, a video of someone getting higher and higher and being able to see over the bridge further and further. You do not look at that and say, there's our visual evidence. Let's see if we could conduct experiments based on this to come to the conclusion of whatever it might be. So you do not do that. You don't cherry pick, but you have a cognitive bias towards the information that you receive. If it has anything to do with a round Earth, you automatically say that it's bogus. And if it has anything to do with a flat plane, you fucking little chub gets fucking rock hard and you run with it without even understanding anything about anything, especially logic or physics or mathematics in any way whatsoever.
Well,
and I'm sorry for being so aggressive today, guys. I'm just sick of fucking baboon-like comments coming out of Chemo, and everyone jumps on the conversations like it's supposed to. We're feeding into his nonsense. I'm doing it right now.
Chemo's a genius. I don't think.
No, look, for me, as I've always said from day one, this was some 7 years ago, my friend. There's no debate. Okay, there's nothing to discuss. We have an observation of flat, horizontal, motionless. We feel nothing. Okay, and then obviously someone
so
comes.
where's your experiment that backs that up? That's an assumption.
People come along and they say, well, no, the Earth is actually curving and it's moving. So we're like, okay, let's go and investigate that. And what we find, and there's no evidence to support that notion.
Yes, there is. The sun going from one horizon to the next. The stars, the moon, literally everything. An object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion. Acceleration is what you feel. Deacceleration is what you feel, not movement. Again, lack of understanding.
So the best he can say, he doesn't know if the Earth moves or if the sky moves. That's kind of what you're saying there, Mike, isn't it?
Okay, so for example, Mike, if you would like an experiment to conduct, try to hypothesize.
No, you do the experiment. You provide the experiment that proves your fucking Earth is flat.
No, I've done it, but I'm seeing
Yeah. No, you haven't.
Oh, it's been done.
You ain't done shit in 7 years, Chemo.
It's been done.
If you had done this experiment, you would have immediately said, I've done this. This is my experiment 10 minutes ago when we started asking you for the experiment. So pulling this out of your ass and saying, and just now remembering this, and then saying that you've done it is bullshit. It's bullshit. Chemo, I don't know you personally, but I do know that you have somewhat of a memory. You're making stuff up right now.
Well, you did ask for evidence of a flat Earth, and I did say that flat Earth doesn't require...
No, we asked you for the experiment that backs up this so-called evidence.
Yeah, let's go back to the basic premise of the question.
The Earth being flat is not an observed phenomenon. That requires an experiment. But I was going to say to Mike, what does require...
And again, you've said it's observably flat. So, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
The phenomenon. That's a phenomenon, you dumb motherfucker.
What is the phenomenon?
Let's start off with the motionless Earth thing. So I don't feel the sky moving, and I don't feel the Earth moving. In the middle of a sentence, Chemo.
Well, actually, I was responding to Pure, so if you don't mind...
That I think is an interesting question. How do we differentiate between whether the Earth moves or whether it's the sky moving?
Has he got me turned down?
Sorry, it's Chemo hour, so go on, mate.
Oh, you haven't got me turned down. Yeah, I was just responding
to...
you.
I haven't. You just interrupted in the middle of my sentence. I asked you not to, because I was trying to make a point to Steelman.
Did you not hear Pure talking?
That's a problem.
Did you not hear Pure?
No, because I'm not fucking talking. Don't bring my name into this for your interruption.
Exactly. So that exactly.
Do we have a
what?
Do we have a mod present? I think Chemo needs a mute. He's over talking people.
Yeah, I think we've got mods here. Veach is here. Oh, Veach was here.
Chemo, can you mute yourself? Is that possible?
How about shut the fuck up? I was listening to what he was saying. So continue about the you can't differentiate between the Earth rotating or the sky moving.
Well, you were asking for flat Earth evidence and an experiment. And now we provide you with that experiment, and
you don't have one. You haven't ever. Stop lying.
Your hand wave dismissing the evidence. Pure.
May I ask a question, because I didn't any experiments, and I actually there was an interesting moment because Chemo just a moment earlier went through 2 years of flat Earth movement history in 2 minutes, where first he said that we have the experiments, but later said we don't need experiments. Well, in 2015, flat earthers were, we have the experiments, and in 2017 they were, well, we don't need experiments. So that's interesting. 2 minutes,
yeah, I mean, when it
2
comes
years
to
of
flat
flat Earth history in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, proving the
so
flat Earth.
Chemo, you say that you have the evidence, but you haven't shown anything in this conversation. It seems that you're dodging the point by saying, we have the experiments, but then when we ask, you say you don't need them, or you already presented them, or any excuse in order to not actually go to the evidence.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I was trying to bring in a point that we could actually look at from the flat Earth perspective.
Not here, Laurie.
Yes, I did. He finished. There was silence.
Yeah, I'm finished. Trask can speak.
Thank you.
Well, hold on. So, Laurie, you
so
wasn't
that-
even. Who were you
No,
talking to?
I'd like to get a point in. I keep getting interrupted every time
Well,
I
hold
try
on.
and
I'm
talk
just
to you.
asking
When am I
Laurie,
allowed
who
to
was he
talk?
talking to then?
Chemo, stop being a cunt.
I'm just finding out
please
who
go
Laurie was talking to.
Chemo, you waited for Druss to fucking start talking.
No, I was
before
waiting for
you
Laurie
fucking
to
interrupted. Yes, you
finish.
did. Yes, you did.
I waited
he
for
did
Laurie
finish.
to
He
finish
stopped.
because he goes on and on and on and on and on. It's never. It's difficult to know when Laurie finishes.
You need to stop this shit, dude, because you're the one fucking dragging down the conversation.
Yeah, but who was he talking to?
You purposely waited for Druss to start talking before you fucking interrupted him and just
That's not true.
That
I
is
waited for Laurie
absolutely
to
what
finish because
happened.
Laurie takes forever to finish, so I wasn't
You know
sure.
what?
That's why I
Both of you
paused
stop.
to make
Both
sure
of
he
you stop.
finished.
Both of you stop. Druss, no. Go.
Well, he wasn't talking to Druss, was he? Why on earth would Druss go?
Druss, go ahead.
Both of you stop.
So,
I mean,
Laurie,
it's
at
a
the end
very
of the day,
simple point. It's
yeah,
a
but
very
Druss,
simple
hold on a
point I'm trying to
second.
make.
He wasn't addressing you. I can answer for myself, thank you. It's okay.
I'm trying to build on the point so
Yeah,
we've
but
got
I
something
can
very
answer the
specific
question
that we
for
can look
myself.
at.
You don't need to answer it for me. It's fine. I'm capable of answering my own questions and answers. Thank you.
I wasn't trying to answer a
Yeah,
question
but
on your
Laurie was
behalf,
addressing
Kimo.
me. He wasn't addressing you, right?
No, he wasn't addressing you. He made a comment.
Yeah, he was talking about me and evidence.
No, he
So
was
how
not
are
talking
we-
about you.
Exactly.
How have we allowed Chemo to derail the topic? Chemo, produce the evidence that you said you had, or tell me that you do not have any evidence of a flat Earth. Which one is it?
So what we have is evidence of why things disappear over the apparent horizon. Okay? So we have
What makes sense on a curvature. That doesn't prove anything.
Yeah, so you predict the curvature, we predict magnification, lenses.
I don't predict anything. I know for a fact we live on call it a sphere.
That's your prediction, that when ships disappear over the
No,
horizon...
it's not a prediction. I have seen it. I've seen the videos. I have seen enough evidence to tell me that we live on a sphere. You're the one that is making the claim that it is flat. You're the one that is saying that you have the evidence that can prove it. You're the one that says that you have the science and the math that can prove it. I am simply asking you to show me. What I think and what I know and what I feel has nothing to do with this conversation. Get my shit out of your mouth and do what I'm asking or concede this conversation.
Good?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So what we have is a hypothesis to explain things disappearing over the apparent horizon. Now, your hypothesis is that it's Earth curve causing this, but you're yet to conduct an experiment to show that the Earth curve is actual.
Kimo, we've been asking for you for experiments, but you're not.
I'm going to provide it now. I'm going to provide it now.
Guys, I've got a really simple one that
Hold
we
on
can
a
do.
second,
A
Druss. You're
simple point. I'd really like to make a point. I've been very patient,
I was asked
Kimo.
a question, Druss.
Oh, when do
I
I get
don't
to
need
talk,
you to
Kimo?
answer
When
it
am I
for me,
allowed to
Druss.
talk? When am I
But
allowed
I
to
don't
make
need
a
you to
point,
answer
or
the
am I
question
just going to
for
be
me.
continued talked over?
Yes, but I don't need you to answer the question for me, do I?
Let me know when I can talk, Kimo.
Well, if I'm being
Because
asked a
every single
question,
time I've
Druss,
tried to
about
make a point, you've
experiments and
interrupted me.
science, why are you answering it for me? Do you have an
I'm
experiment?
not. I'm trying to make a point, and no, there's no chance for me to get in.
But
Every single time I've
But
tried
I'm being asked a
5
question.
times,
Why
I've
would you
backed
jump in
off
the middle
5
of a
times.
conversation and start
Now
asking
go, make
questions?
your point. I would like to talk after you've finished. Go.
Of course you can talk. I'm not saying you can't talk. We're just saying we're in the middle of a conversation asking questions about
I
science
will
and
make the point.
experiments.
Okay, we
and
get
about
it,
flat
Now
Earth.
show your experiment.
And
Show the experiment.
Well, I've got to explain it first. So,
We already understand the concept. We want to see the experiment, and then it's Foolish Decision's turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you can't do that somewhat quickly, it's Foolish's turn. He has waited respectfully and been cut off by you too many times. I'll ask my question again. You say that you have the science, the math, and the experiments. Can you show me an experiment? Yes or no?
Well, we actually say the facts, the figures, and the numbers.
Like, you really got to stop taking him so seriously, man.
So the point
So,
I was
look, the
going to
idea,
make
again,
was...
Druss, you're interrupting again.
Hmm.
You just heard we've
Yeah,
been
Kimo,
asked...
Kimo, we can, I think, yeah, I think we can stop this police charade. Like, Kimo, it's obvious to everyone that you're playing a silly game. First of all, we ask you for experiments. You don't have anything, and you deflect and run around the board. And then you personally torment Druss on purpose by not letting him speak, and you abuse your mouth power. So you're just trolling and you're acting like a bullshitter.
I would agree.
There's no reason to continue this discussion.
Foolish, I would say it's your turn now.
The point I want to put on the table is there was a claim made.
Hold on, Druss. You can see they asked me a question about evidence. Why do you keep on answering for me?
Hold on, Kimo. It was Druss's turn to speak.
No, I've got to wait until you guys finish. How can I know unless there's a pause?
No, it was Druss's turn to speak. You need to go on mute.
Just because there
Kimo.
is a pause doesn't mean Druss can answer for me. The pause was to make sure you guys had finished.
Kimo, you need to. I think you have more power, so you need to mute yourself because you're over talking people and you're acting like a bitch.
You asked about evidence.
So you need to use your more
There
powers.
was no fucking question, and guess what? Every time Druss starts, he gets 3 words in, and you fucking interrupt.
No,
now
because
stop
he's trying to
Kimo.
answer the question for me.
Nobody's answering a goddamn question for you. Druss is gonna make his point.
How can he respond when I've been asked a question and he wants to respond?
Your response is not showing evidence. It is not showing an
I am
experiment.
about to provide the
It's not.
evidence. I'm about to explain that your
Well, then type it out, because we all agree that it's his turn.
Your hypothesis failed because you said it was curvature. My hypothesis, however, is atmosphere acts like a lens. Now, the only way to...
Is that an experiment?
Yeah, that's my experiment. That's my hypothesis, is that the atmosphere...
Okay, thank you for your answer, Kimo. I accept that as an answer. Your experiment that you just now showed me is something that I agree with you 100%. It is now Foolish's turn to speak.
Okay, go for it.
So Kimo made a claim that the Earth is motionless, and I made a point that, well, yeah, I don't feel the motion of the Earth, but I don't feel the motion of the sky. So all I can say is one of the two is moving. So I would like Kimo to establish how he knows it's the Earth that is motionless and not the sky.
You're derailing, Druss. We're talking about experiments.
No, he's not. We finished that. I think I was very clear by accepting your rhetoric as an experiment. I want everyone to know that I know that that was not an experiment. However, we're past that now. He is now starting this discussion, which I think should be answered. How about everyone else?
You've got to stop taking him seriously, man.
Yeah, you need to recognize that you don't have any evidence or science. You should have fun. You should just realize the world around you is changing.
Just answer the question.
Kimo's not serious.
Just answer the question.
Again, we've got the evidence to back up the claim of things disappearing over the horizon. We have our independent variable, check. We have our dependent variable, check. We have our experiment, check. We have our observed phenomena in nature, check. We've manipulated things, check. So what do you guys have to combat the science that we've provided to prove the Earth is flat?
Well, I'd still like you to address your claim of motionlessness of the Earth.
Not derailing, Druss.
It's not derailing. It's perfectly on point. We finished one topic. No, we're not talking about the black swan. We were talking about experimentation, and I was interested in the experiment that you have that shows that the Earth is motionless and the sky is moving, and not the other way around.
Long distance photography.
You're derailing, Druss. We're talking about the horizon.
No, he's not. You're just scared to answer the fucking question.
When we get onto Earth rotation, we can talk about that. But right now, we're demonstrating that the horizon is not physical. When ships, the sun, or any object is obstructed behind it, that it's not a physical obstruction. See?
Kimo, what do you think an experiment is?
And what experiment did you do to conduct to provide this evidence, Kimo?
I posted it in the chat. I'll post it again. Here it is. There you go. And that experiment shows on a flat surface, things disappear bottom up.
That's a video. That's not really a description of an experiment, Kimo.
Yeah, that's the experiment. We're manipulating our independent variable.
Really?
Where's the written definition of the hypothesis?
What was the hold on? What was the independent variable, Kimo, that you manipulated?
Our independent variable was the their magnification.
No.
Anyway,
Zooming in on something isn't manipulating the independent variable.
What's the lensing effect? The lensing. Atmospheric lensing.
No, zooming in is not manipulating the independent variable, Chemo.
No, we didn't say zooming in. We said
Well, yeah, you said you zoomed in, you adjusted the lens. Yeah, motherfucker.
No way, man. I was like,
yes, you did.
Nah, man.
Chemo, in your test, did you assume a flat surface?
Say what up? What? Say what?
In the experiment that you posted, did they assume that the Earth is flat?
No assumptions.
Yeah, they presuppose the flat Earth.
With a curvature?
No assumptions. All we did was try to explain the observation that we see in nature.
So again, Chemo, what independent variable was manipulated?
Well, what we saw an effect.
Not what you saw. What did you manipulate?
I'm just about to tell you. We saw an effect, which was things disappearing, and said that the cause of that was the lensing. So when you take away the lensing, you get a different effect. Introduce the lensing, get another effect. And that effect that
atmosphere is your cause. If atmosphere is your cause, you have to do that in a vacuum, because that's when you take away the atmosphere.
Right.
In a vacuum? You don't live in a vacuum.
Yeah, if you wanna, yeah. But if you wanna manipulate the atmosphere. So Cavendish doesn't have to be done in a vacuum because we don't live in a vacuum. Good.
Yes, but the atmosphere is the cause.
Yeah,
Yeah, but in this moment, the atmosphere is the cause.
And same thing with the thing that you were talking about just before that.
Well, no, because
so you would have to do your experiment in a vacuum. Have you done that?
No, that would be your claim.
No. Oh my God, Chemo.
Let's think about it. Let's think about
it. Do lobotomy still exist? This is a post-lobotomy.
You guys say the atmosphere is what causes the refraction, so you would need to go in a vacuum where there is no atmosphere and do your experiment, not us.
Chemo, I've tested the curve. I've looked over a curved hill, and things were obstructed bottom up.
Okay, then the cause was the hill.
There you go.
Was the hill? Yeah.
The curvature, yeah.
The hill of the curvature of the hill, yeah. So what?
Yep.
Yep. So what?
things can be obstructed bottom up physically, or like with a Earth curve.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
Like I said earlier, Chemo, your downs is showing.
Well, look, again, it's not about me. It's about the most important situation we find ourselves in, which is the lie about the globe.
Actually, that comment is directed and about you.
Well, look, what we need is science to back up the heliocentric model. So unless we have that, we have nothing but poetry, wise ideas, which we can't put together because we can't conduct any experiments. Okay?
Listen, you don't understand what an experiment is, because when I asked you an experiment, your response was that I had a hypothesis and that you had a hypothesis, therefore I'm wrong. Therefore you're right. You did not show an experiment. You did not give any example of experiment. You did not do anything in any way whatsoever that regarded experiment in any way.
Well, all we're doing is manipulating our independent variable to show cause and effect.
No. Whatever it is you're talking about, no. Chemo.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Please. Yes. Start taking medication.
Well, again, if it turns out to be a globe, I think the medication will be heavy for a lot of us, because obviously we'll be like, well, hold on, there's no observable curvature measurable.
Hold on, everything does make sense instead of it being an ass backward fuck zoo.
Absolutely.
Everything's making sense now. So yeah, maybe
Absolutely. So if you're able to show that there's a force of gravity, if you can show measurable curvature, if you can show gas pressure without a container, if you can show
can do all of it,
then yeah, definitely.
We do show that to you on a daily basis. You just refuse the evidence. Cavendish is showing gravity.
Cavendish
the atmosphere and your own admittance that we have a gradient. So right now we are, let's just say, 10 atmosphere. A little bit above that is 9.9. Continue that logic up all the way up till it's 0.00001. That's called space. Okay?
Cavendish
you don't need to jump for it. You're an idiot, Chemo.
Cavendish.
You're an idiot.
Cavendish.
You're an idiot.
Cavendish.
You're an idiot.
Cavendish.
I'm not gonna stop this time, Chemo. Last time I only did this for a few minutes. I'm gonna do this all day.
Cavendish does not show acceleration in a vacuum. If it did, you would be providing it right now, putting an egg in the face of the flat earthers, saying, "Look, here is our attraction." But you failed to do so. We're waiting on Biodual. When Biodual has managed to show this attraction, then you'll have a force. Then you'll have mass reactor mass. But until then, you don't. Yes.
When Biodual does his Cavendish in a vacuum, how are you gonna say that it's not really a vacuum?
Stop getting nervous, guys. Stop being worried. Look,
I'm not nervous. I'm just
I've already
asking how are you gonna deflect from it?
If Biodual is able to show mass attracting mass inside of a vacuum with all of the variables accounted for, so then we can't just make up variables, can we? Oi.
You are making up variables.
Excuse me, sorry, gotta go.
The thing that I just posted, Chemo, is Cavendish on a small scale inside of a vacuum. That is what that is. Please download it. It's only 3 megabytes and read through it. It is the Cavendish.
It's been pointed out to him hundreds of times. He still has got through his thick skull. It's been done and been proven.
And he's stupid.
To help you, okay? You need I mean, nothing you can tell him is going to change his mind. You might as well just give up.
It's not.
And he says that he. You're roboting.
You're not made up stuff.
But Chemo is making up variables.
Well, he's taking minor variables and making them major variables. That's the flat Earth way.
Yeah, and like if Biodual does it in a vacuum, then Chemo's gonna say, is it electromagnetically shielded?
Right.
Or
he's always going to find something.
He's coded for, yeah.
You know, he's always going to move the goalpost. There's no way he's going to ever do this experiment. He's never.
If there is, sorry.
Job.
It must be after school time. What's up, Joby? Let's change the topic completely. Get Chemo off this conversation in its entirety. Who thinks that free will is real?
I don't.
Oh, fuck.
I don't think there's free will.
Yeah, neither do I.
Well, that's sorted.
Yeah, I know. It's so frustrating when people agree with me.
If I asked you to like not do something and you do it anyway, doesn't that not prove there's free will?
No, not in any way whatsoever at all.
Why not?
Oh, this is why this conversation.
Because okay, let's just say I were to say turn left and you purposely turn right. And you're turning right because you want to prove to me that you can have free will. That means that your right-hand turn is predetermined.
No, it's not.
You're trying to disprove me, as in you're going to automatically go to the opposite way. Forcing your hand to prove me wrong still is deterministic, let alone the physics behind it.
What if you
Okay,
go
I
left and
guess
nobody
I got
told
shared,
you to
mate.
go left?
Have a good day.
Oh, we've already changed the topic.
We already changed topic, so sorry. Moving on. No.
We're not socializing.
Hey, this is a Hey, I'm announcing an official Flat Earth meetup. All Texans are invited to a Flat Earth meetup mid-April. After Tax Day. Mid-April after Tax Day.
I'm already 4th annual for fucking mid-April.
We're gonna have a Texan meetup.
Right, so you're using this place like a social club?
I use this place as a social club.
Are you using this place as a social club?
Social club.
Hey, fucking Chemo. Chemo, do you mind? Chemo? We're trying to have conversations. Chemo.
It's called Debate Flat Earth and more. So yeah, it's a social club.
We were having a debate on whether or not free will exists.
Mr. Parrot, Mr. Parrot, Mr. Parrot, Mr. Parrot, Mr. Parrot.
Yes, this is a social club.
Oh, it's anti-social.
Mr. Parrot, if we would have a social meetup in Texas, I'm thinking somewhere like Austin.
Emo, we can have
Fuck
friends.
Austin. Pick somewhere better.
Yeah, but that's
Emo,
mid for everyone except you, right? I can't really help you guys from the West.
No, I said pick somewhere better. It doesn't matter the distance for me. Pick somewhere better than fucking Austin. Austin sucks.
Where? Midland? Midland.
We were trying to figure out whether or not free will exists. We were having a debate about free will.
Hey, me and Patrick were having a decent conversation. Do you mind? Hey, Patrick.
Branch.
Patrick.
There is no free will. But Chemo,
there is.
Chemo, even if you don't have friends, it's not our fault, so we can still socialize.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, not here.
We're using this as a social club. Would you shut the fuck up, Chemo?
But we're gonna do our social meetup, Patrick.
Absolutely. Branch, I would love to have a social meetup.
Where? We can't do Dallas. That's like way out there. We
can socialize any fucking time we want. You don't get to dictate the conversation.
Yeah, but Patrick, we're doing it in Dallas. That's good to me, but Patrick, here's the problem: is like people from San Antonio
got a hot mic.
8-hour drive.
That's okay. San Antonio works for me.
That doesn't work for me though. Dude. Fucking hell. Hey, Patrick, for you to get San Antonio. Actually, you know what? I'm kind of down with San Antonio.
I'm absolutely in a place that I can socialize and have a conversation.
San Antonio is a good spot because then we can hire a fucking boat and we can all go to the river ride. Yeah, we can all go on a boat on the river ride together.
Yeah, I've been on a river boat.
Dude, hey, we can go down to the Alamo and have BB gun fights. Branch.
I've been to the Alamo.
Fucking perfect.
Yes, but it's
I used to
really
do
far.
pay in the bathroom and run out to the river.
Hey,
you don't care about
We were trying to have a free will
You have
debate.
to understand. You have to understand. The globe was destroyed.
Hey,
That's why we have to talk about. That's why we had to talk about free will now.
Yeah, Chemo, remember, we heard you earlier having this horrible noise of you railing cocaine up your nose, all right? So,
do you want a cobblestone?
Well, the evidence for the flat Earth is in itself. There is no evidence for the globe.
absence of evidence, even if that were true, absence of evidence isn't evidence.
Yes, it is.
It absolutely is not.
Why not?
I'm sorry, man. You know what I don't like? What I don't like is
If
this.
you see a circle and the
I
circle
was
is not
trying to
flat,
set up
you have the
true
absence.
social event.
Why
You guys are totally cutting it off. I was trying to set up a real fucking social event.
Nobody wants to like meet up.
Chemo just kicked that motherfucker.
Actually, there are a lot of people would meet up with Branch. We're gonna do it in San Antonio.
Be together and discuss flat Earth together. Like
oh no, dude, we're gonna have BB gun wars at the Alamo. Fuck discussing flat Earth.
Yeah. But that's just general flirting, right? That's what we'll do anyway. I mean, you said BB guns. I was thinking real guns. I was thinking real fuck. We all have fucking guns, don't we?
I mean, flat earthers couldn't fucking shoot to save their life. I mean, trying to not. I like my federal job. Like, I'm trying to not, get homicide charges for recreating the Alamo with real guns.
So why do you want to do it? I agree with that one.
I don't know. Why are you pursuing Hemo lies and? I know. Why are you lying to everyone, Chemo?
Chemo's not lying because he actually physically doesn't know that he's stupid.
I think he does.
He doesn't. Chemo's correct. If you don't know, if you don't know it's a lie, it's not a lie. He is apparently too stupid to realize that most of the stuff he believes is untrue.
They're Pythagoreans.
No, it's not a lie. He doesn't know it's a lie. He's not. You have to. In order to lie, you have to know it's a lie. You have to know it's false. He apparently does not know it's false.
You have a mental block. You sit right there and you tell everybody.
So I will agree with him that he's not lying. He's just spewing falsehoods.
Everywhere I look, it's flat. When I go outside, it's flat, except it's where I can't see. Why do you tell people that? Oh, it's curved over there on the other side of the horizon over there. Oh, it's curved over there where I can't see it's curving at. Well, how crazy is that?
Afternoon, Dave. How you doing, man?
Think about it. How you doing, man?
What's crazy is nobody fucking says that, Dave. Hey, Dave, the funny thing is nobody fucking says that. You just made that up.
No, all you guys say yes. Everywhere you look, it's flat. It measures flat.
No,
Everything's flat,
nobody ever says that. Nobody's ever fucking said that. Nobody's ever said that, David. Nobody.
On the other side of the forest. On the other
See,
side of the forest.
you're lying because I'm correcting you, and you actually fucking said that people say this and they don't. See, that's a lie because you know nobody's ever fucking said that. Nobody.
Hey, when you go outside, you see no curvature of the earth, correct?
No. Oh, I see curvature of the earth every fucking where I look.
First of all, why the hell would you expect to see it?
Oh,
What are
we
you
got
talking about?
some. Well, it sounds
You
like
must
we
be a
got some
really tall
round eyes
guy.
over here. Why do you round eyes act like that?
Why are you fucking spouting off racial fucking slurs?
So calling you a round eye is a racial slur.
Yes, actually it is.
It's not a racial slur because you're seeing round shit coming out of your round eyes. So how can I help you?
Wait, what?
You would find that funny, Joby.
What's wrong with you, man?
Have you guys heard the last?
Comedy hour right now.
There's some latest
Yeah,
news.
you
on
have to
the channel,
excuse
by the way.
Dave. You have to excuse David. He's from Dallas, and they're still racist down here.
Yeah, well, why are you talking over me, by the way? Yeah. Why are you talking over me?
Racist to who?
Everybody's not
Well,
white.
you just heard him.
Not
What-
Texan.
Is it because I'm not white
people
and
not
I'm
around
American you're talking on me?
Shit.
Hey man, don't be racist around me, bro. I fuck racists.
Why
The
not?
problem is you round
I'm
eyes
racist.
like to talk a big game, but you don't back it up. You know how you
Oh, we
round
can back it
eyes
up, Dave.
on.
We can back it up, Dave. We can back everything up. It's just you're too stupid to understand it.
I can open you up and make you never walk again, man.
No. The problem with Dave is you get upset with him. He'll just move the goalposts and say shit until everybody gets upset, and that's his job.
Or storage that you can't measure. Do you know how hard we understand how hard it is on you?
No,
that
we
you
just
can't
said
measure the
Dallas is
curvature.
stupid.
We can measure the curvature, Dave. Do it in 6 days from now. Do it in 6 days from now.
When I'm not in Dallas.
6 days from now is the perfect day to do it, Dave. 6 days from now, take a stick, put it in the ground, measure the shadow, measure the length of the stick, a little bit of geometry, and you'll get it, the radius of the Earth. Excuse me, what? No, that's not incorrect, by the way, but that's nice try.
Does it sound like these guys are gonna do fucking experiments, man?
No, these guys won't do experiments because that would actually involve doing some real science, and that's against the rules if you're a flat earther. It isn't. It's a measurement, David. It's a measurement, Chemo. It's a damn good measurement. It's been done for 2,000 years.
There is a picture of Chemo.
Yes, they are.
In all fairness, Chemo did carry the tripod to St. B's.
There's a picture of him looking.
That's all he did. That was his contribution to that horrible fucking dishonest observation. He carried the tripod. Oh, we were talking about your voice. You wouldn't know science. You wouldn't know science would bit you in the ass, Chemo. But would he know if it teabagged him? You don't know. This is a measurement. What you do is you measure the Earth and then you figure out the radius of the Earth, because if you assume the Earth is flat, which is what you want to do, the sun must be in multiple locations at the same time, and that's impossible.
How do you know?
No, sorry, that's exactly what happens, David.
I'm not going inside. No.
Yeah, that's called a hypothesis. If the Earth is flat, then you would expect all the angles, all the points to point to the same place, and guess what? They don't. But
That's an assumption.
that's not an assumption. Okay, the assumption is you start with the assumption that the Earth is flat. Then you figure out that the Earth can't be flat, so it must be round. The only way for the
How do you
air
figure out the
needs
Earth
to,
can't be flat?
because the sun must be in multiple locations at the same time using trigonometry. Do the experiment.
Does it sound like any of these people are doing trigonometry?
No, these guys don't know trigonometry. I understand, but this just proves that they're stupider than a 2,000-year-old Greek guy.
That Greek guy's just a story.
Here we go. Are you going to join on the crazy train now? So you can't get me on. So you have to go to the ad hominems now, huh? Actually, I don't have a P. Actually, I have a PPL, but I also have a CPL. Actually, I have I have more than I have a ATP, but that's that's we don't call it. I've never heard of anyone calling it PPL before.
These are.
No.
Yeah, Chemo, you missed out. We did more research on this yesterday. In fact, BioDo called someone that he knows who's a pilot who confirmed that you don't need that PPL thing in order to fly for the Air Force. You weren't here when that happened. That's why I'm letting you know.
Oh, he remembers.
Oh, now he remembers, even though he was not in the channel when this happened. Was not. Because we asked for you, and you never replied, and I said, oh, Chemo's not here.
Just silly details, Verbal. Just silly details.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Chemo was there. I was there. Chemo was there.
You see, but he has to deflect from the fact that he won't do the Eratosthenes experiment, the fact that it proves that the Earth isn't flat.
Chemo
So
was
he'll just deflect.
there.
You measure the radius of the Earth using the Eratosthenes experiment at the solar noon with a stick in the ground, plumb to the ground, measure the length of the shadow, the length of the stick, figure out the radius of the Earth. It's really quite easy.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You mismeasured the radius. Why do you have to measure the drop? Actually, it does, but that's another issue. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Chemo, you know what I find funny, right?
That's what's.
You know what I find? You know what I find very funny? You know what I find very funny? What I find very funny.
The black swan, we know about refraction, so we don't have to worry about the black swan. See, the black swan actually proves that there is a geometric horizon, because in order to have the apparent horizon, you have to have the necessary antecedent of the geometric horizon. Therefore, it's proven. Thank you very much.
What I find very funny is when people.
1 foot, yeah, wow. Why don't you get higher from the ground? You have to be at 1 foot where you get lots of refraction, huh? Excellent. Very good. What a shitty experiment. And if you go there most any day of the how come it doesn't happen all the time if the Earth is flat? Why does it only happen on certain days when refraction is high? Huh? Huh?
funny,
No, how come if you go out there in most days, what will you see? Will you see what the Black Swan says, or will you see something else?
How funny is it?
See, I'm not talking about the Black Swan. The Black Swan has been debunked and debunked and debunked, and yet you guys continue to go back to it. In the meantime, the Autosines experiment, which you can do in 6 days from now, will be very nice, and you won't do that either, will you? Because it will disprove your stupid flat Earth religion.
Emos.
Exactly.
Emos.
So, what's your problem?
No,
So,
isn't it
welcome
funny?
to Globe Earth. Welcome to Globe Earth, then, Chemo.
Welcome to Glover.
Welcome to Globe Earth, Chemo.
Emos.
Chemo, this globe guy's just.
Welcome to Globe Earth, Chemo.
No, you know what? You say welcome to Globe Earth. I say you guys are dumb fucks for even trying to prove Globe Earth.
We have Globe Earth. The Autosines experiment. Do it yourself in 6 days. Perfect time to do the Autosines experiment. You're just for yourself.
Paid NASA, are you going to do the measurement on Saturday?
What's
I'm trying
that?
to get a bunch of people to do it.
I'm going to join you, Chemo.
No, actually, that's not how it works, Chemo. See, that's the problem with you. What you do is you put a stick in the ground, you measure the height of the stick, the length of the shadow at solar noon, and then with a little bit of calculations, you figure out.
So,
Chemo, I'm giving.
How far is the sun?
Kevin,
So what's your problem then?
Chemo, I'm
So what are
giving
you arguing then?
Gem
How far is
$100.
So what's your
problem then,
to do that
Chemo?
on Saturday. Come on.
What's that? Miles, yes, I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
Oh no, the Autosines experiment is verification.
May I get in here? May I get in with you? I guess he means I guess he means measuring by
A separate way. Okay, well, we can go another way if you want, but in the meantime, do the Autosines experiment, and then in 6 days from now, and come back to me with your results, and then we'll talk about verifying it.
I would love to piggyback that. I would love
So,
to.
Paid NASA,
Go ahead.
are you willing to do
Chemo,
a measurement on
somebody
Saturday?
wants to comment on this.
Paid NASA show, are you willing to do a measurement and photograph it for us? I'm going to get a bunch of people to do it on Saturday.
A lot of us are going to do it.
Is the Earth going
Who
to
else is
flip
gonna
on
do
its
it?
axis in 6 days or something? It's gonna...
No, in 6 days from now, on the 20th, which is Saturday, he's correct. The sun will be over the sun will be over the equator. It's called the equinox. Happens twice a year.
So, Chemo, I'm going to donate $100 to Gem for doing the same measurement at his location, and he says he was going to try to get you to do it as well at your location. Are you willing to do that for us or no?
Yeah, we're all going to do it. I'm going to do it too.
Who's saying that?
Yep.
Okay.
So you agree?
Thank you. Welcome to Globe Earth.
Oh, B-Ball, you're going to do it too?
No, we don't want to stop there, guys.
Hey,
we don't want to
verbal.
stop there.
Verbal.
No. You don't have to believe what anyone tells you. Believe what your own eyes show
interrupting him,
you
please.
on the
Please stop
Autosines experiment. Your
interrupting
own.
him, please.
Well, have you? Have you done it yet, or are you going to wait for 6 days and tell me? You want to accept it? Okay, you want to accept the Autosines experiment? Okay, fine. Thank you. Welcome to Globe Earth.
Which starts to drop away immediately.
That's a
going right back.
That is fucking stupid.
Yeah. Chemo, do you think? Chemo,
Ignoring refraction.
Chemo, do you think that we say that the Earth is made out of?
It's not even that. It's what they're talking about. This fucking quantum eraser bullshit with the 1.22 miles is the geometric horizon without a fucking atmosphere. At what point are they?
We've done this
Why?
in infrared, so we minimized.
Infrared will still refract.
Infrared, dumbass.
Infrared will still refract.
Infrared don't do shit.
Okay, so but do y'all agree with his premise that we could verify it another way? Since y'all want to diss on this premise.
Another way? Sure we can.
Okay.
How about getting a fucking boat? Or a cruise liner, because guess what? Traveling, we know the fucking known distances between
Yeah, that's a great
and
one. The
islands.
distances,
Yeah.
yes.
Heading.
Sure.
Heading.
I wanted to offer something that I'm sure people have thought of, but we don't talk about it a lot, or ever really. So what about like using some sort of sun chasing method or something?
Yeah, that's.
What do you mean sun chasing?
Sun chasing.
I mean,
Since we can use the shadow to infer that the sun is directly over our head, and on the equinox we can assume we're right at the equator. Like, couldn't we do like a partial circumnavigation and then like measure the banking or lack thereof of the thing we're sun chasing with, or with our?
You can
know what I
see.
mean?
You can see. You see that the sun travels in straight lines over the equator at the equinox.
Or,
but I'm saying, how do we see that?
It's
Can
not
we
circling.
chase it and demonstrate it, basically?
Yeah, you can have observers. Observers like.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, just you can have observers at the equator, at X distance between them, and you can clearly see that the sun rises at the east, sets in the west, and it's going on a straight line. And
That's
when
what
it's
I'm
at
saying. How do we
your
verify that straight line? Like, can we travel it and make sure that we don't make any banks or turns or?
Well, you can-
Why would you expect to? Just the
flat
the
Earth?
small.
Flat Earth, you would expect to. If you were chasing the sun over a flat Earth equator, you would expect to bank.
Yeah, it should curve, but it doesn't. And in the
Right.
southern hemisphere in Australia, it's banking the other way, how it should in the flat Earth. So it's also falsified by those observations.
Absolutely, but what Chemo's stretching for, I think this would be great to put on a table. Like, I think this is a piece of keystone information here. Is a sun chasing demonstration. Thank you.
Yeah, but that's really not possible to do. But another thing you could do is you can go to the top of a mountain